Shantae. Hey, Kiss. Hey, Kim. Hey, Kissamy Sue. Blessings to you. Remember, this is a short one. We got to get ready for the real show tonight. And we're going to do some homework. We're going to do some homework tonight. Hey, Lady Divine. Hello, my tea. Hello. Well, you know what I call you. My teacup. We're going to get, tonight we're going to get some homework done. Right? This is a short video how people can easily get into a cult. Hey, Jeremy, that's a Shawnee Pooh in here. Yeah, we're going to get a couple more people in here. And I just want to show you how easy. This is a story time video. This is a story time video. And it showed you how people are being put in cults really easy. Really easy. So this is a young lady's story, how she was almost put in a cult and didn't even know. And then she realized it's a cult. A lot of us be talking with people and jamming with people. We be in groups with people, not knowing it's a cult because you know, we didn't get indoctrinated, so we got out before we found out. You know, you figuring, hey, these good people, blah, blah, blah. Oh, these people are so nice. I like this group of people. So we didn't even indicate, you know, they was getting us. You better bring your butt up here. What you mean get the coffee? You better get your butt up here and sip some tea. Ain't no coffee, Lady Divine. You better get your butt up here. You should have had your coffee made already. Oh, yeah, that's right. Make some coffee. Yeah, I know I love my coffee. You're waiting for Lady Divine to pop her butt up here. My tea biscuit. That's what I call her. My little English tea biscuit. Yes, 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 yes. So we're going to start a little early because this is not the regular show. I just want to keep pumping you guys with information of subtle ways that get people hooked. Subtle ways. And I'm going to do some more story times like this because this happens to a lot of people. This happens to a lot of people. And sometimes we don't need to see the extreme all the time. We don't need to see the extreme. We need to see the subtle ways people get into this. And let me find it. Here we go. Hello, my tea biscuit.
Hey, sugar. How are you?
I'm good and you, love. Now today, like I said, we're going to really be, I ain't playing with y'all today. This not going to carry on until this going to be quick.
Yeah.
Not to me, Jody. I can't stand y'all. No, but I want to do stories too of subtle ways, how people get trapped off in these cults and how they go after like college students, people who was like freshly and newly away from home, you know, may feel like they don't have no friends, how they don't know nobody at that time. Because that happens a lot, but we don't think about it. When we send our kids off to college, we got to remember that's all, especially if it's not in your hometown or right next to you. We send them like to a different state or something. Hello, coffee, wines, and water. So I want to show them that when you send your kids off to college, this is a subject you need to talk about. How many people have a talk about cults with their kids before they send them off to college. Right, T Biscuit?
Indeed. I just
And
done that talk with my niece actually, who's
mm-hmm,
off to uni, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so scared for her.
mm-hmm.
So I had to have this conversation with her, especially with the whole carbonation thing going down. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, if anyone tries to push any religion on you, tell them peace. If anyone tries to encourage you to come to any of these group meetings, tell them peace, but don't go. Just don't go.
You have to do
You
that.
have to at this point. It's dangerous.
Cause
Yeah.
a lot of people, they so happy that their kids are going to college that they forget that they're going there alone. They don't know
Right.
nobody. So
Mm-hmm.
these cults is usually the one that will maybe like make a mistake and bump into you. Like, I'm so sorry. What? My name is such and such, and where you from? And then you start talking with this person, not knowing that they luring you in.
And remember that when they're away from home, it's even more because there's no like immediate family nearby if they're in a different city or a different state or however it goes in America. But
That's everywhere. That's everywhere.
right, so
That's
then
everywhere.
they're more vulnerable if they've got no like family members around them while they're studying away or whatever. So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, tell them peace, because it could be someone pretending to be some pastor or pretending to be a person of knowledge or regarding religion, but really and truly it's just a cult. And we've had couple horror stories here in the UK of these girls going away to uni and then found murdered, basically.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's not good. It's not good.
So we're gonna hear this young lady's story. I've seen this like plenty of times, but now I have to start, bringing it to you guys because we only see it when it gets to the extreme. Like we only see it when it's like when they're in full motion, and then we hear the horror stories, and then they tell you these stories. But I want to put my thing there first. Okay, here we go. Before we start this, my little disclaimer, like it really means something, but it really don't. But it look cute on people's page because they can still go after your page with the disclaimer on it.
Imagine that they're really doing that. Wow.
Hey, Edwin, peace and blessings to you.
Hey
Okay,
Ewan, hey chat. Peace reflections, peace.
yes, from my tea biscuit from the other side. Now let's check out her story by Bree Hall. Let's go.
I've been trying to figure out how to
After
say what's
this,
on my mind.
after this commercial.
Been appealing to an atypical or vulnerable percentage of the population. The group often has a charismatic founder or small leadership that is given permission to have additional control over the lives of their followers and their beliefs.
Let me just leave it there, just in case, so you can see. A cult originates from the Latin word cultus, meaning worship, described as a new movement appealing to atypical and vulnerable percentages of the population. The group often has a charismatic founder or small leadership that is given permission to have additional control over the lives of other people. And T Biscuit,
I'm
what my
listening. I'm
oh,
here. I'm here.
just let you know, boy, we getting ready to get more deeper and more realer. So get ready, cause we're gonna be doing business codes, self-help codes. Oh, we going in. Look,
Oh,
we,
I've
we,
got
I'm not,
I've got a
I'm
couple
not,
to give
I'm
you
not
as
playing.
well. Then
I'm
I've got
not
a
playing.
few to
I'm
give
not
you.
playing. What you say,
Right.
sweetie?
I was going to say
Not
I've got a
today.
few.
Not
No,
today.
not today. But I've got a
Oh,
few links I'm going to pass to you that I want you to look over, just in case you're interested in covering these
that's what
particular.
co-host is for. This, you
There
got
we
my
go.
email, right, sweetie?
Okay, yeah, I'll get it.
Yeah, but we have to work together. We are on this mission together, and we both have the same beliefs. Then we have to work all information. I look at all information. Let's do this because we're not just stopping here. If we're going to talk about codes and trying to save people, it doesn't start nor begin with Nature Boy. Today we're going to do some homework. Tonight we're doing some homework. Because we're going to look up some of this stuff. And did you remember that word that he said last time? Or was you
Which
here?
one was that one? I missed
It,
2 shows. I got to catch
no,
up.
I don't know which one it was. my little tea biscuit. But Queen, if she pops in later, she remembers the word because as he was saying, she looked up the word. We got to start looking up some of these things that Nature Boy was saying and see where he got it from. And we're gonna see exactly what was this. This man was in so many different things. That's why everything backfired on him. But I got some stuff. One of the words he said I got set up already. And there's another channel, but I will mention her channel later. But I really would like for us to support her channel, and I would really like, after I'm saying who the channel is, if you were there already or not, I would love for her to just to come on this channel one day and we could just jam. We could just jam on, saving people coats and, why did she start and what's going on with her. But being that we're going to be doing a story time, there's no need to say that now. But the next, I keep telling you, we have to support each other. We have to support each other's good work. There's no time for the hateration. It's bad enough the bigger channels are hating against us. They hating. They even calling us a cult.
I've seen the noise the last couple of days. I'm not impressed.
No, and then telling us we're cold and we following them. You know what? What they forget to say is how many people said to me, to world, and to other people, y'all, watching your show saved my life. To a couple, I can't name everybody because I don't remember everybody. Hey, NJB. Hey, Carolyn. So, you can say what you want. But we've been covering it so long and people have been covering it before me. The big channels forget to say that I've seen people on World's channel and they say, you know what? I was contacted by them and started to go. So kudos for all the smaller channels. Kudos, you still big. Once you save somebody's life or you help somebody, you are no longer a small channel. You are a big channel because you reach somebody. Now let's get to this young lady's story time and let's go. And if you have something to say, just tell me to stop it on Tea Biscuit and I'll let you, because the purpose of the video is to do commentary. So they can't say we just took their video. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
There are a lot of subliminal, I guess, parallels between cult grooming and grooming for a relationship or violence. That's one of the biggest things I've noticed. But we're gonna get into that. So I want to make a quick disclaimer. Most people that are in a cult and they're in a cult deep don't realize they're in a cult, because I know there's a chance this might get back to the people from this story. If anybody sees this, you don't have to contact me. There needs to be no clarity. None of that. Like I'm completely beyond this story now. And another part of my disclaimer is what one person's cult might be another person's form of extreme or disciplined religion. But the purpose of this video, aside from just pure...
What'd you say?
Oh, you said you might have to mute something. You've got an echo, just in case you don't know. There's an echo.
No, I just have to cut it down. It's too loud. So maybe that's what's giving it the echo. I'm going to turn the volume down. Sometimes that happens. When they're too loud and then my thing is loud, it gives an echo effect. Hey, Mika, how you doing, sweetie? NJB, my love. Like I said, we're going to be going in deep on this channel of how we get you, as regular people, get used and abused and sucked into a lot of different madness. And a lot of people don't know these self-help gurus. That's a cult too. People be amazed what's a cult. And yet because somebody's not physically doing something to you, but you're cleaning out your whole bank account, you're selling your house and you're giving these people money, that's a cult too. A lot of people are left with nothing. And some of them end up taking their own lives because they've been duped by these cults. And what makes it a cult is not the fact that they just took your money. What makes it a cult is people still support them and they praise them and they see them as idols. So that's what makes it a cult. Like, and then it's buy a book after another book, and then we're going to get all into that. So I'm just giving you an idea what to get ready for, Lady Divine, so you know what to start researching.
Mhm.
Tell me if it's still echo, guys.
Entertainment is to also help younger viewers or people who are in school right now or anybody who might be vulnerable learn kind of
Is there
warning
still an
signs
echo?
or red flags so they can avoid the situations that I was put
Oh, it's
in
not so bad
unknowingly.
now.
Most
Yeah, that's
things
the
that
volume.
are
You cut it
beautiful
down some
and
more.
helpful in life or rewarding don't come rushed. You won't have to be solicited or persuaded or manipulated or pressured for something that's beautiful. It will be patient, it will be kind, it'll take its time, it will have compassion and understanding, especially when it comes to religion. So that will be probably one of the first red flags is if a group wants to rush you in any way, is soliciting or pressuring you to join immediately. That should be a red flag. So now let's get into the background of this story. So this all happened my sophomore year of college. Sophomore year is when all the money dried up. Freshman year, you come in confident. Even if you don't have a full scholarship, you know what's going on financially. You might have a going away party or something, and people might give you those little cards with a little cash money to get you started in college. Sophomore year is the year when all that goes away. You are officially in college now. You are an adult, and all the sympathy, all that stuff has run completely dry. You are really on your own in these streets. So I'll say for my sophomore year, I was particularly vulnerable because number one, I was away from family. There were some like hardships going on with family at the time. I also was in the midst of one of my only in my entire life, my only pre-falling out with a roommate. I've never had a bad roommate situation except for this 1 year, which that could be a whole nother like 3-part video series in and of itself. But yeah, I was having difficulties with a roommate, and y'all know when the home is not happy, it's a mess. Long story short, with the roommate situation, I was getting kicked out that room regularly because the person was dating somebody. So y'all can imagine how stressful that was. Also, as I mentioned, money was kind of becoming an issue, so I had to get some campus jobs and things like that, and I was also working in retail. So your girl was booked, she was busy, she was stressed. I was also running this YouTube, but YouTube of course always has been fun, so it wasn't really like, oh god, I have to make YouTube. No, like YouTube was actually my escape during this time period. So yeah, and then my love life was not in shambles. It was getting to a really stable place. I feel like in all chaos, there's like at least one stable place going on. But yeah, so this all took place my sophomore year of school. This quote from an article from The Guardian. It says, although cults recruit people of all ages, students who are intellectually or spiritually curious are the prime target. Also, there's a lot of other reasons why students make the perfect, well, I wouldn't say perfect, but like, the prime target for cults. Research has shown that people who are the most susceptible to recruitment are stressed, emotionally vulnerable, have a tenuous or no relationship with their family or connections to their family, or are living in adverse socioeconomic conditions. Does that not spell college student to you, y'all? Like, literally, like, number one, stressed. You're stressed academically, you're stressed financially, you're stressed with everything in college, low key. Emotionally vulnerable. Yeah, you're literally, the rug is pulled out from you when you get to like your freshman year and sophomore year of college. Everything you once knew is totally different, and you're really like in this on your own. So you're emotionally vulnerable. And for me, again, I was going through a lot of stuff and a lot of changes. So I was particularly emotionally vulnerable at this time, having tension or no relationship with the family. I wasn't having like extreme tension, but I was having stuff going on with family at the time. And on top of that, this is for all college students. Even if you have a great relationship with your family, which I personally do and have had since then for a long time. Basically, when you live on campus and all that, you're becoming physically separated from your family unit, if that makes sense. So that breaks those connections and those bonds, making you an easier target for this kind of stuff. And are living in adverse socioeconomic conditions, college students be broke, okay? And I know I'm gonna get comments like this already where people are gonna be like, man, when those organizations came up to me in school, girl, I didn't give them 2 seconds, whoop-de-whoop. Sit, like, we're here. We're here. I always will say this, do not knock a position you have not played or been in, because you can be in that position. You never know. Life is unpredictable that way. This was not one of those scenarios where people come up to you in the student center and I just went off with them. No. I've had, before this even started, I had numerous groups come up to me in the commons the commons was like at my school, like the student center, if you will. It's where they had food, they had like the bookstore, all that good stuff, and then a giant cafe area. So yeah, I had people come up to me in the commons all the time. Even the mother god people that y'all be hearing about in all those news stories, they came up to me multiple times. Books, you name it, any place on campus, I have been stopped. Trust me, y'all, I wasn't that naive where I was just like running off with anybody, though that happens a lot. Though this is a popular recruitment tool, most people are recruited into cults by a friend, coworker, or family member. So that's where we get into how I got recruited. Okay, I know this might seem like a lot of pre-information, but all this stuff is important and it definitely plays in. So being that this was a really lonely time, a lonely year, I was working a lot, so I didn't have as much time for friendship because, I was running off to a retail job, getting back to my dorm at like 10 o'clock at night, where I was in the study rooms at like 11 till 2 in the morning, walking alone to my office job at like 6:37 in the morning. Like, I was not sleeping, I was on the go. So who is one person that I would automatically talk to often when I don't have time for friends? My roommate and I are getting into it and barely sleeping. My RA. So most colleges, if you're not in college or you just don't know this, like most colleges have someone that watches the floor. They're called a resident advisor. Some schools have different names for them, but basically the student advisor on your floor. So I quickly became good acquaintances with the resident advisor on my floor, and it still feels weird telling this story because he was a really cool guy. And that's how I'm gonna feel about just about everyone in this story. Deep down, it was like they were all cool people, but this energy was just not okay. It wasn't until when I was about to do this story, I was like scared because I was like, would the word cult offend this religious group? And I did some reading and I went article after article after article, and every single one validated every feeling that I was having, y'all. This RA was extremely nice, and I just chalked it up to that being their personality, like overly nice. Everywhere I was, he was magically there. I might express an interest in...
Okay, put that in your list. Overly nice. Just so helpful. Oh, this person helped me. I wouldn't know what I do without this person. So you got to be careful. Overly nice. You got something to say, T-Biscuit? Where my T-Biscuit at? Well, she'll be back.
One thing, and then suddenly he's at that thing. Like, he was just always around. I'm not saying he was following me or anything. It could have been pure coincidence, but I would be in a study room alone. He'd walk in the study room and start talking or sit down or what have you. And as RAs, you're encouraged to make these connections with your residents. I actually became an RA later in college, but I know for a fact when you have as many residents as we do, it's almost impossible to have that much encountering with one resident. You know what I mean? He just seemed extremely intrigued by my life. And these things all sound so weird to say, but that's how these groomings and things happen with relationships with cults. You literally feel weird talking about the warning signs and like the recruitment and the grooming, because these all can come off as very normal things where you're just like, no. So, but I think it's because of how subtle it is that people just brush it off and think no. So of course I'm brushing this off. I'm like, he's just really nice. He's just really passionate. He just really cares. But he would ask about my family situation. He would ask about my roommate situation. He was asking about just all aspects of my life. Was finding out what I was interested in, and found out that I also played one of the same instruments he played. And then suddenly he would be playing the instrument with his door open while I'm like coming back from like classes and stuff like that. It would just all seem really coincidental in the timing. But I actually looked at an article.
Now, what she didn't understand, I don't know what the article says, but what she doesn't understand is he was taking her information and projecting it and mirroring it. That's what a lot of narc, sociopath, or the above. The ABC bad people. A, B, C, D, E, E bad people. So it's planned to, oh, she liked this music. I got to get her closer to me. I got to show her that, hey, and this is how a lot of females get trapped off with men because you tell them these things, and then they don't mock you just in the beginning, but all of a sudden, oh, that's my favorite person. Man, knowing that they ain't never heard of that man. But after you told them that, they researched it. So now they're gonna make you think that they've been into that forever, but they have not. You gave them the, how do you say, this cheat sheet. I always call it the cheat sheet. Be careful of how you give people the cheat sheet. Be careful, because we give people the cheat sheet a little bit too fast. That make them work for that cheat, not the blueprint. It's the cheat sheet. Or it could be the blueprint. You're right, truly, Lacey. It could be both. But it's like taking a test and you gave them all the answers, not knowing that you gave them all the answers. So that's why he's playing the music where what she said she liked. So that'd be like, oh, wow. And we go through this every day. And then I'm going to do one too called the one-on-one cult. And that's people in relationships not knowing they're in a single cult with these crazy people.
To find out that one of the first steps after spotting a recruit in getting them to actually join a cult is called love bombing. And love bombing is when you literally shower this person who is emotionally vulnerable and feels kind of alone and is basically finding their identity, as most new college students are, and you just validate the shit out of them. Like, you make them feel like they are just the greatest thing on earth. You flatter them, you admire them, you show them affection, you validate them, and that's what I was feeling like. I felt like my RA was talking to me more than my siblings. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that seems weird, but because of the job title, it didn't. But in all honesty, had these behaviors been anywhere but in that job title, I think it would have been really, really odd. But we went through several weeks of just him checking in about my life and just like learning a lot of information about me. And I noticed in that time period, I didn't learn very much about him at all, except for one thing, and that was that he, would read the Bible from time to time. So I remember one day, he just came out of nowhere and asked me, like, hey, do you know what you're doing this weekend? Or this, I think it was either like a long extended weekend. I can't remember if it was a break or a long weekend. Y'all gotta remember, this was like a couple years ago. Long story short, he invited me to this retreat. And then, of course, I was in a very open place. I was open to religion, spirituality. I was open to finding a church. I was open to a lot of things. I'm in a new city. I'm in college. I'm going through a rough time. And I really think that's what made me prime for this, because I was a lot more open than I usually would be. And I think I would have vetted a little bit more. But due to this acquaintanceship and the love bombing that had happened for weeks and weeks and weeks before then, I felt comfortable going to the retreat. I wouldn't say I felt comfortable, actually. I would say that I tried to get out of it. If I'm going to be real with y'all, I tried to get out of it, but then every reason I had not to go, it's like he had a counter reason. Okay, so I literally was like, oh, I might have homework to do. We have desks there. There's gonna be plenty of time to do work and study. Don't really feel like I know as much as I should to go on a retreat. Oh, we'll teach you everything you need to know. Honestly, I get a little weirded out about retreats because it might be just a little too church heavy, like a little too, you know what I mean? It's like, no, it's not even like that. It's gonna be dancing, fun, unlimited food. It's gonna be a great time, really laid back. It's not like that at all. Y'all, I was getting sold dreams, okay? And then me being a bored, broke, overworked, and stressed college student who didn't particularly for her roommate at the time was just like, unlimited food, dancing, people my age, and did they say free food? This is one of my almost anywhere where there is free food. I need to get better at this, but I'm sorry, y'all. Like, this is just. So I reluctantly agreed to go. Here's another thing that was a little odd. The retreat was coming up immediately. Like, I got abrupt notice about it, and then I also found out that it was happening kind of abruptly. So, like, I didn't have a lot of time to back out either. It was very spur of the moment. And then on top of that, I also said, hey, I know retreats cost money. So I was like, I don't really have that right now. I'm trying to save up for school and books and all that. He was like, oh, no, don't worry about it. You don't have to pay. That was another red flag, low-key, because it's just like, okay, I don't know any of these people. I barely know you. And y'all gonna feed me, take me out to the middle of nowhere and pay for everything? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm sorry. It was just a little odd to me. I come from an area where, like, things have to be earned, okay? It's just point blank how it is. And so I was like, maybe they're just really generous. And this is something I also want to share with you guys that I noticed as a kind of recurring theme. A cult entry process is extremely expedited. That happens quickly. You are in and out. No paperwork, nothing. You are in. But getting out is literally very difficult once you get pretty deep in, right? Whereas with a religious group, getting in and everything might be actually a very patient and slow process and a gradual introduction, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I think that was one of the key differences I noticed here. Everything was so quick. And this kind of coincides with, again, like, the relationship grooming. Everything is very charming and quick, you know what I'm saying? So now I have, from the phases of entering a cult, phase 2. Y'all, I was literally walking, I was going through the freaking guide. Like, I was walking right into the trap. I was following the breadcrumbs. That's literally what was happening here, y'all. Here is phase 2 is isolation, okay? So once, I'm gonna read this entire paragraph so y'all can just really see that I really went into the woods like an idiot. But here we gonna go. Once they've enticed the recruit with approval or the promise of some fulfilling understanding of the universe or themselves, that's what I was promised during this thing. I was promised free food. I was promised dancing. I was promised, like, spiritual healing and a greater understanding of self and inner peace when I get home. I was promised all types of stuff. Soul dreams, like I said. And I was only, like, 19 at this time. Basically, once they've been promised all that, cultists will then work to isolate the recruit quickly, right? So as soon as I said I would consider going on this retreat, everything started moving, like, so fast. A weekend retreat. So when I was about to, like, reconsider making this video, like, was it a cult, bro? And then this is the first thing I see, and I know a lot of religious groups still do retreats. That's fine, y'all. I've been to church a lot in my life. I've been to multiple kinds of religious gatherings. I've been to, like, temples. I've been around the block religiously a little bit, you know? So it usually takes form of a weekend retreat where the recruit is immersed in the cult's ideology over the course of a few days. Not only are the recruits physically isolated from friends and family members who might otherwise provide a reality check, which in this case, I think only 2 people knew I was going here. But cults often isolate recruits from outside information. Newspapers, books, TV, and web access are all censored, ensuring that only reality the recruit gets is from the experience presented by the cult. Yup. This is literally like I'm literally reading my experience summarized verbatim. Okay, well, let me tell you. So we load up into, I can't remember if we took vans or cars. Again, this was a while ago, but we load up into transportation. I'm pretty sure we carpooled. And then we get to the destination, which is literally in the middle of nowhere. I kid you not, y'all. We were staying in bunk bed cabins by a lake in the middle of nowhere with very limited reception. I had to fight somebody, not literally, but I felt like it was like pulling teeth and finding somebody to get the Wi-Fi. And the only way I was able to get the Wi-Fi was when I told them that I had homework assignments that required the internet. Then let me point out, when I arrived, everyone seemed nice. Like, am I a traumatized youth that bothers me like that? But it's not just nice. It's like, you ever had somebody try to sell you something at a kiosk in the mall? it was that kind of nice. It's like, what are you hiding nice? Like, who are you really nice? Like, if you stub your toe right now, will you still be this fucking happy? Like, y'all are so. This makes me seem so negative in contrast, but it's just like the extreme of niceness, if that makes sense. Anyway, so everybody seemed really nice when I first got there. So let's talk about the first ceremony when I get there. We put our stuff down, all that, and then our first ceremony is in this room where everybody's just sitting in chairs, stage, and then they get into reciting scriptures.
Now, listen carefully. Like I said, Nature Boy is not doing anything new. Listen carefully how they will you win. Listen carefully. Do you have anything to say so far, my sweet tea biscuit? Tea biscuit. I'm so firing her.
Sorry, I'm here. The kids are driving me crazy. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I know. So you have to say something, folks. Sorry, who is she? Sorry, I just got in. Hey, honey, this is a story time by Bree Hall. And I also explained that we're going to not just talk, we want to hear about people experiences that I want to show you how they do it so subtle. Because time we see it, it's the extreme. So I want to show you guys how subtle they do it. And I also want you to see how they get a lot of college students get trapped up. And then depending on what area you come from, we're so busy telling our kids, don't have sex and protect yourself and don't get in no trouble. And we so glad our kids are quote unquote away from the gang violence, depending on where you live, or the shooting. Now everybody's a gang, but you know what? They all still do the same damn thing. So we're so glad they're away from that we threw them into, we not knowing as parents, we put them under something else. We threw them into something else. Took them out of this, but we didn't warn them. Like, we did all the warnings for stay out of trouble, don't take. We did all of that. But we didn't tell them how to choose their friends. And, people want to invite you with it. So these videos is just stories, but yeah, exactly. So we have to watch regular stories too, because she show you how subtle it is. They send a scout out after you. They send a scout out. The scout is so nice. The scout, she said, that scout worked her for weeks, that she thought that scout was her friend. And listen, that's how they do it with sororities. And hey, Tamika, that's how they do it with sororities and all these other type of things. So even though we're old enough, we're not going to catch on. But think of how many parents and grandparents' kids are going into college. And this happens a lot. I'm going to be showing more stories. I'm going to be showing different ways also, different type of cults.
Oh, I got a good one for you, Sugar. And it's one that everybody knows this person. Okay.
Yeah. Send it to my email, because matter of fact, we're going to have to be doing a lot of corresponding, sweetie. We're going to be doing a lot.
In fact, let me get you a link right now. This one's a totally different story. It's so easy. Everyone knows who it is, and it's so quick to it just shows you the extremes on how easy it can be to get caught up in these things. I'm going to get it right now. Hold on.
Well, hold on, because I might play it right after. Does it coincide with this one?
Yes, but it's the male version. So now you're showing a female how she.
I had a lot of different ones
version
pulled up. So I might, if it coincides, I might play that one right along with this one, or should it be a separate one? That's what I'm asking you. Tea biscuit. My English tea biscuit.
Check the back, Sugar. You can have a little look for yourself.
All right, baby. So let me
Okay.
let this play and I'm gonna go check. Hey, King Cap in the house. King Cap in the house. I said King Cap's in the house.
King
I said King
Kev.
Cap's in the house.
He will definitely know this person. We've mentioned him a few times, but not relating to this subject. But
Yep.
King Kev will be good because he's a male and he can give the male perspective. Because
Yeah, because
people
we're
forget males get caught up in these things too. Men are just so easy to get caught up, right?
And I gotta make sure that's not one of the ones I got planned. But if it go together, because remember we gotta be up here early because we got some studying to do tonight. We're gonna do some nature night and we got some studying to do tonight. And then we're gonna do, I'm sorry to say, people, we got yoga cults. We got alien cults. When y'all didn't see me yesterday, I was doing a lot of homework. A lot of homework. You got people that go to these different places, thousands of people. I'm like, what's what if he put God put us here on earth, concentrate on the people on earth. Why are you trying to connect to aliens? Why are you connecting to them? They don't want to connect to us, but we have to connect to them. If it is aliens, leave them be. Yes, baby, is yoga cults because a lot of people don't understand. Like if we do yoga on your own, whatever, but it is a cult. It's a cult.
Let me tell you one as well, Sugar, that people always overlook. The clean eating cults. Those cults are the worst. Have you not heard of the clean eating cults?
The clean eating?
Yeah, that's the one that make you eat all the plant-based, one meal a day, liquid. They're another level. They're another level.
Yeah, but as you see, isn't that what Nature Boy was doing? Yeah, Nature Boy was doing that too. Do they have weed cults? Well, they smoking a lot of weed, Shantae, but being that you do it on your own, you good. You are good to go. But you got to remember, a lot of times how they trap people off in these cults is they use what else can I say? Say the word for me now. Medication, not medication. Meditation. They use meditation because that's the easiest way to make a person sit in one spot. You understand what I'm saying? And then you saying, clear your mind and think and, let yourself. So they're speaking to you in that state. So you're going to absorb a lot of what they're saying because your mind is not thinking right because they told you to clear your mind. Girl, they thought they was going to recruit my behind, but I asked too many questions. And they was like, And I think I was like 6 I was really young. They go knocking at my door. I ain't gonna see the people knock at your door. I gave you a clue. I'm in the closet. Okay, bro. We gonna need you behind in here later on. But we have to do regular stories too. We gotta do regular stories. But I'm gonna let y'all watch this while I check out what my tea biscuit got for me.
And singing. Now, how do I go into this? And as I've said, I have been to many churches and they have been the most they've moving. Y'all know what I mean. Like y'all just feel that energy, just like yes. And you leave and you feel good. I felt the opposite during this. I think one of the biggest things that also is a red flag with cult stuff is a general feeling of uneasiness. And it makes you confused because it's like everything in my environment going on right now is technically good. So why do I feel so uneasy and mildly unsafe and out of place, right? So when they started singing, that's the moment I realized I felt like an other. I felt so othered. And I'm sitting here open, vulnerable, like open-minded, if you know what I'm saying. And I felt so uncomfortable because the singing wasn't, yes, Jesus loves me. It wasn't none of the jams, okay? The things that we know that are really, really like get you in the spirit. There's no good way to say this, y'all. It was very corny. Oh my gosh. There's no better way to say that. It was very like, I was gonna say ukulele would, but ukulele would have even been better. It was just one guitar and I love God and I love God and guitar, and it was like 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm just sitting there like,
Overtime, kids. God, and yes, he's great. Woo. Yeah, you should too. Woo. I love God. Yeah, I love God.
Another thing is, since everything was constantly done in group dynamics, like you never had alone time there except to shower. I don't recall ever having any alone time during this entire retreat. You feel this intense feeling of peer pressure the entire time. I'm the only person not enthralled in everything that's going on right now. Because I'm just like, are y'all serious? Y'all gotta tell me y'all know what I mean, because I don't want to sound wild, because we are still overlapping religion with a story time, but it was different. It was very different. That's all I can say. Another thing is that the schedule from the moment we arrived was packed every single day. From worship in the morning, breakfast, prayer, singing, prayer, confessions, prayer. It was just back to back. Honestly, another thing that was a little strange that I don't think I have pointed out yet is the fact that, remember how I mentioned the nice things? Everybody never stopped smiling. And here's another thing I forgot to mention too. There was only like 2 or 3 of us that were actually new to the church on this entire retreat, right? So the entire time I couldn't help having this internal feeling. This is gonna sound really, really vain to say, but it felt like the entire retreat was planned for us alone. And it was planned, and I don't even feel like it was planned for me. I just felt like this retreat is planned for recruits. Like,
See, a lot of people gotta listen carefully. Hey, me, the good one. Hey, Bohan. What she just said was, now come to find out, the retreat was really planned for you. They figure, okay, they go to their scouts. You got one, I got one, I got one. We got these dummies. So we're gonna act like it's a retreat, but it's really not a retreat. They just telling you that. And then you realize, damn, why is the spotlight on me? Hey Maya, why is the spotlight on me? But you won't know till you get there. And they know that you won't know till you get there. You know what I'm saying? They know these things. You don't know. What was that? I don't know. Was it a cartoon or whatever? If anybody remember, it was a cartoon or something. And I think he wanted to cook the bird or something. He was friendly with the bird and he told the bird to get in the water. Could not be the bird. But then he started adding stuff in the pot, right? Started adding corn and vegetables and all these different things. He started adding. He didn't realize till the fire started getting really hot that he was the dinner. He was the dinner. But yeah. And he was just enjoying it, not knowing you was almost cooked.
to have a small group of recruits come and kind of get the brain, and it's like in the aspect of them never stopping smiling, it was like the entire retreat I was constantly being sold something the entire time. It was just like, if this is also a part of love bombing, from what I have finally learned, it's like, we are selling you this entire lifestyle. We told you
Hey,
we
baby.
were going to cure everything that you had going on and give you peace, so we have to embody that, but to the extreme. It's like, I really sometimes want to just like take a paper ball and chuck it at somebody just to see if like, are you human? Like, because they would never stop smiling the entire time. Like, okay, this is another red flag, okay? Now we're getting into like maybe like day 2, okay? We had to do group sessions. And what group sessions were was a pre-picked group. We didn't pick the groups, where you had to go sit down and talk in a circle. And there was a lot of people at this retreat, and in the circle, it was all women. And so they made it feel like we're gal pal, like we're in this together, girl power. And so the leader's wife of the church, well, they both kind of led the church. So what are we going to call her? We'll call her Crystal. The leader, Crystal, happened to be in my group. Now, what are the chances we're breaking into all these small groups that the new girl with promise for the church gets paired in the group with the leader of the church? Now, that's not pressure. So, immediately everybody begins sharing these deep, dark sins, and they're going around in a circle. So, again, yet again, I'm like, what the hell am I doing? But I'm not gonna lie, when this all was happening, I was like, oh, okay, like, finally, something that's down to earth, something that I was like, okay, I can get with this. Like, I want to hear the human things that y'all have been through and how y'all have worked through them and what your process has been like. And as soon as they were starting, that's when I started to kind of shoulders start to drop a little bit, deep breaths were taken. I felt like finally we were getting somewhere. Like, okay, I was a little iffy on y'all. Y'all almost had me about to go try to find an Uber, but this is something. And then Crystal starts speaking and she talks about this awful, awful time where she was just doing terrible, terrible things and how it was just she is so ashamed of it and how like she had to basically apologize to God and all these different things. Y'all, not to put nobody business out there, okay? The awful, awful, terrible thing that she was doing was self pleasure. I'm so serious. I could not. As soon as that was said, I just shut down internally. I was like, I'm sorry. As somebody who has grown up around some stuff and seen some stuff and been through some stuff and have friends and family who've seen and been through some stuff, and that is like the worst thing you did, and I don't even think there's nothing wrong with that. I was like, y'all almost had me, but here, do 10 steps back. I gotta get out of here. I have got to get out of here. So then they get to me, and everybody's eyes are just like,
And I like to just say to my people, now you listening, my English tea biscuit. It was Bugs Bunny.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Now, because you know me, I stay doing research, right? That's just my second. Oh, the king of the channel says smash the like. Remember, we was doing the numbers and stuff, right? Remember, I told you it was 6 years since um Nature Boy made his appearance on YouTube, right? Yes, no, maybe so. Maybe divine.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm here. Just that I'm muted.
Let the kids drop it crazy. It's okay. Now, remember, I told you it was 6 years from when Young Pharaoh made his first YouTube appearance, right?
Okay.
Do you also know it was 6 years since Kevin Samuels made his YouTube appearance? Oh, we're gonna get into that.
Oh,
We
okay.
no, forget it. No, we're not talking about his personality because what he said didn't fit. The shoe didn't fit me. I didn't wear it. But I'm just saying, isn't that ironic? Both started on YouTube all three started on YouTube 6 years ago. And something happened with all three of them.
Yeah, they're all going down in the quicksand.
So on the other page, we're going to stroll. We're going to see, hey, Miss Boom, 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 Sugar Delight, Boom, Boom, Boom. So we're going to see how this rabbit hole goes. Remember, we're doing commentary and we are investing investigators, and we like to break down to the small molecules. So all our feelings are put to the side. We gotta bring this news. Okay, Lady Divine? She's saying yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely saying yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
A lot of people haven't really went through. They tell you how you came, but I'm like, oh, we gotta see when was the change. When was the change? We gotta do some investing in invest, but I'm gonna do that on my other channel.
But do we agree that there actually was a change? I don't think there was.
The
I think they
video.
were always the way they were.
No, there wasn't. The
I
video.
believe they were.
That's why we're going. It's not what we believe. We're gonna do some investing, and investing. That's what we do. We investigate. We break things down to the smallest molecule. And it was a swift, as from what I researched it. It was a swift, and it was a change. Now we can't tell you what may have happened, but you're going to see. You're going to see what I'm talking about. You're going to see, baby. But we're going to break that down. We're going to, not on this channel, but we're going to break that down because I know his people are going to come and huff and puff and want to blow the house down.
I don't know what to say. I was like, y'all want a laundry list? Is this never have I ever? Because then I was said I just shut down internally. I was like, I'm sorry. As somebody who has grown up around some stuff and seen some stuff and been through some stuff and have friends and family who've seen and been through some stuff, and that is like the worst thing you did, and I don't even think there's nothing wrong with that. I was like, y'all almost had me, but here's 10 steps back. I gotta get out of here. I have got to get out of here. So then they get to me, and everybody's eyes are just like, I don't know what to say. I was like, y'all want a laundry list? Is this never have I ever? Because then I really have to think. I'm like, and then they're like, no, you can share anything. Like, this is your time. Yo, in what human world or realm is someone going to know people for less than 24 hours? I mean, yeah, sometimes you would have a venting session to strangers, but that's by choice. You know what I mean? Like, you choose to vent to a stranger when you feel overwhelmed, or, you know what I mean? The timing is right. You don't get put in a scenario where everyone probably shares the same thing every day on retreat, and you the one new person in the circle, and all eyes are on you to tell some deep dark secret. Like, I don't know y'all. Y'all are complete strangers to me. I don't know who you know. I don't know who y'all associated with. Like, I was not comfortable at all. So I kind of had to wing it a little bit. But here's the thing. I should have been able to say, hey guys, I'm not comfortable sharing anything right now, and been on my way. But the fact that I was already feeling pressured to not say that just should tell you how much that the manipulation was already beginning to work. The fact that I didn't feel comfortable telling an entire group of strangers that I wasn't going to divulge my deepest, darkest secrets to them on the spot after knowing them for 24 hours really kind of teasing on the fact that something was wrong. Now here's one of the lights that came out of this whole story. This girl arrives, and we're going to call her Tracy. How about that? So Tracy arrives a day or two late to the retreat, and she is from where I'm from. She is cool as, she was so cool. She was down to earth, and I'm like, finally a normal person. It's sad that I had to say that, but I really was feeling like I was counting down the hours till I had to leave because I just wanted to go back to society. Like, I think that's the thing. I was hyper aware that what was going on was not normal. Okay, so she arrives, and then I don't know, we just gravitate towards each other and we start talking. And also, Tracy is one of my bestest friends to this day. So that's why I said there's something good that has come out of this. And we have bounced these stories off each other. And I found out, like, yo, I was not crazy. Like, this was a kind of weird organization. But she arrives, and then I'm talking about how, like, I'm so happy that I was like, "You're from such and such." She's like, "Yeah, girl, da da da. You're really cool." And we just was hitting it off, and I'm like, "I am so glad you're here because honestly, I was feeling a little." And she's like, "Yeah, I know." And so we were just bonding. And then comes the campfire. The campfire is, they were singing again around a campfire for about 2 hours and just sitting there like, I am ready to go. I am ready to get up and run, but we are in the woods. Why am I in the woods right now? I was in the woods for no reason, and it was still chilly. I don't know. I was second guessing this entire experience. Plus side is that I gained a lifelong friend from this. Now we get to the final day, baptism. I found out that everyone, this isn't super uncommon, but it was new to me because I had never heard this terminology before. I might sound like a newbie, but whatever. They were doing baptisms, and every person that got baptized became a disciple.
Remember, they speak of spiritual baths at nature, not spiritual baths. Okay?
It just, I don't know why it just rubbed me the wrong way. And I know that's a common term, like, y'all don't have to tell me. I know there's some churches that really use that terminology, but you get baptized and become a disciple of the church. And there was a lot, like, I think there was about 2 people that were getting baptized that day. And the entire time, like I said, this entire weekend felt like a timeshare pitch. Like they were constantly selling me on this organization. Like, they didn't think I realized they were selling me, but they were selling me. And it was working, to be honest. The peer pressure was working. But they baptized people, and the entire time I'm getting nudged, like, that's going to be you soon, huh? And I'm just like, when did I ever say that? I didn't say that. Did I say that? Did I tell somebody? That's why the whole retreat was by a river, because they were doing mass baptisms and stuff like that. So, long story short, I was feeling pretty uncomfortable with the whole thing. But because I was so uncomfortable, I felt like there was no way out. And I think that's what was one of the most alarming things. I didn't know how to tell these people no. Like, I really didn't. And I'm one of those people that's usually pretty firm, or I'll be nice about stuff, but I'll still be able to be like, nah, I'm good, y'all. I did not know how to tell them no. So when we get back from the retreat, everything just rolls into motion. The ball gets rolling on everything. I'm talking about, I'm getting invited to movie nights and all these things that sound kind of fun, right? But I'm seeing everyone from this group just about every day on campus. Every day on campus. Y'all, they didn't go to my school. They did not go to my school. Some of them graduated college altogether. Yet I was.
Now, remember, as they trying to initiate you, they are trying to be your quote unquote, your group, your peers, your homie. But you still not knowing that they are getting you. They want you to be part of this cult. That's how a lot of people get sucked in, because they groom. Remember, she was groomed by the guy and became friends with the guy. Then when he felt he had her trust, or not her trust, but he suckered her in, hey, I go to church and I do spiritual. That spiritual stuff, people, is a cult too. You do not have to go to anybody. Hey, Jim Vital, you don't have to go to anybody to have a spiritual connection. She never says what the cult is, because you gotta remember, some cults are really big. Just like some sororities are really big, some cults are really big. This is like a lot of these entertainers or regular people go to jail. A lot of our lawyers and judges and stuff are with the fraternity or the sorority. Y'all know how to say the word. And when they go to these courts, they stand and they do certain signals. You wonder why some people get off, because you don't know that it's a fraternity. So they don't know if the judge or not is in a fraternity. So, but they have been taught to put up certain signals. So if the person is in a fraternity or a sorority or a frat or whatever, they will understand, hey, this is one of my people. This is one of my people. See, people think when they go to court or something, it's even filled, but it's not an even field. It all depends on who you know. Now, let's just like something like really high and major. The judge got to play it off. They're gonna try you and everything, but you notice sometimes that damn this case, the like when you're seeing a one-on-one, a lot of them say, "Hey, do community service. Goodbye. Have a nice day." Then you also have to remember if it's tried by their peers, even though the judge can't do nothing, but the judge can give you a sentence. And there's some people who deserve many, many years in jail. You wonder how they get just community service or they got a year. Some people get time served. Well, you've been in here, time is served. And you go out there and don't get in no trouble for 6 months. Exactly. I am the first woman to not pledge after 3 generations before me and my family. Nope, I am good. You got that right, coffee, wine, and water. You forgot to add a little tea there, but okay. On my Tony T channel, I give a shout out to all of them. You know, so and so then the things that they go through, remember, they made a pledge to be brotherhood or sisterhood for life. For life. Some people, like, especially if they drive a car, they get a special, they're not going to tell you these things. Some people will tell you, because how did I find out? Because I was told. They have a special sticker or something on a keychain. They have something so when a cop stops them and they see that, they know who you are. So some of them will just go about your business. You never wonder why some people will be in the wrong and the cop stops them. Oh, just go get the tail light fixed. Oh, just get that done. Well, thank you, officer. But he saw the thing in a window, or they saw something, a sticker somewhere in the car, a keychain. It was something probably hanging. We don't know. But they give them certain things to say, oh, this person in the brotherhood, so we may not recognize it, but they recognize it. We have to know these manipulations so we don't fall for them. Yes, Jim. But the main thing is not just us falling for it. We have to save our children. We have to save our kids who we send out in this world. We so happy they out the ghetto. We so happy that our kids were so smart. We so happy to post all the time. Yes, Kiki, so you understand what I'm talking about. But us people, a lot of people in these deprived or low income or at-risk neighborhoods, whatever you want to call them, they too busy. Oh, my child got a 4.4 average and they are so smart and I'm so happy. But we forgot to discuss that part. We forgot to discuss this part right here with our kids, because we thinking they good. They are good. And a lot of parents don't see their kids no more because they done fell into this stuff. My military tags work like that. I really get stopped or get tickets. Eastern Stars and Masons. Yeah, but that's the Eastern Stars are the women of the Masons. Same thing, right? Same thing, KR. But the Eastern Stars are the women, the Masons are the men. So this thing is just not, like I said, when we just see the extremities of these codes. We got to see how the settled part of these codes are and how they work. So like I said, we're going to be doing a lot of work and a lot of studying and hearing different stories. Hopefully it relate to one of you guys.
I see them every day on campus, and it's just like they would kind of just bump into me and be like, hey, and I'm like, what? Once I found out they didn't go to my school, then I was like, But here's another thing. A few of them lied. Technically, they tell the truth, but they also lied about the fact that they were in college. Does that make sense? So they would try to relate to me, and I think that's another thing. To get me recruited,
I know this is old school, but her eyelashes is on fleek. Girl, go ahead with them eyelashes. They look beautiful on you. They on fleek. Just thought I mentioned that.
a lot of people would lie to relate to me. And I'm like, that's kind of wrong. Like, for example, they'd say, oh, yeah, I go here. And then I would later find out, oh, wait, you don't go there currently. You graduated and now you're doing this. So, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just small, small things. Like, anybody that goes to college knows that getting out of college is it's a lot. It's hard to get out.
Um, you need to think about that, KR, and unless you can do it the way she's doing it, if you can do it without giving up too much, but giving up enough, I think that'll be a beautiful thing. But I would not like for you to remember, you don't know who else is Eastern Stars. A lot of people got out of it, but you're still an Eastern Star. You know, people still have that ring. People still have that Eastern Star ring. So you don't know who's watching. So, matter of fact, KR, come and do it up here. We'll give you the floor. But my best advice for you, see how she's not saying names? She's just saying what happened. So maybe you don't want to use the word Easter Star. You should say with these group of people, but pick and choose your words very wisely without giving it up. Because you know how she's telling her full story, but she didn't give up nothing because she doesn't know who's watching the video. No, don't get nervous. Just gotta know how to do the wordplay, baby. If they did wordplay on you, you gotta do wordplay to tell your story. And if you listen to the story, she didn't give no names. She didn't give no addresses. She didn't say what was at. She just telling you her experience. So you can say with a group of people. So you're not mentioning their name. But we would love to hear your story. Come on up here and tell us your story. But like I said, take some time to think about it. Yeah, panel story time. Oh, that sounds good, Jim. That sounds really good. Thank you, Corbin. And you know we family here. We are family. We are family. But we would love for her to do her thing. And again, the good thing about StreamYard or whatever, you don't have to show your face. You don't have to show your face. You could put a picture there instead of your face, and you don't have to put no face there at all. But take time and get your story together. And like I said, listen to how she's telling her story because she doesn't know who's watching this. So she didn't give up no information. She just told her experiences. But we would love for you to come up here because this is what this channel is all about. Because we got to let people know it ain't start nor begin with no nature nut. This been going on for many years, decades and centuries. Decades, and like I said, me and Lady Divine, we're going to be really working really hard so you can see all the different things we see every day, but it's a cult. And you think nothing of it, but you keep contributing your money and then you feel bad. You ever contribute so much money and then feel bad when you ain't got no more to give them, or they make you feel bad after you cleaned out your bank account, after you sold your house? You don't have a car to sleep in no more because you sold the car and they want more money. I even showed you, which I'm going to get back to that story, how they make you sell things and do things and they get majority of the profit. But the thing is, it's not like they're giving them the books to sell. You have to pay for it first. Ain't that some shit? You got to pay for it first and then you got to sell it. And then they take their then they cut out of that. Ain't that some shit? And then we're going to show you how it's another, I'll probably bring it up, but there's another guy who talks about cults. And a lot of them get confused that it's a cult because they have good days too. They have good days. But isn't that what an abuser does to his abuser? They show them love one day and they take them out. They take them out. They have remember she said they went to movies, they did things. So even when you see Nature Boy, even though they in their mind they're conflicted because they became one family, their own group became their own group. They didn't even see it as a group no more. They became family. They share even like Musa and all them big dummies. For the past 4 years and better, it's only been them. It's only been them. It's hard for them to separate because at the end of the day, they still have memories, good and bad. They still have memories, good and bad. So it's really hard to leave. That's why a lot of the ex-members, if you ever look at them on Instagram, you would see where they liked this person and they liked that person because it's really hard. They went through something. They went through trauma together. They went through trauma together. So whether we like it or not, they are forever bounded. Or maybe bounded is not the word, but they are forever. They have something together. Same way if you went to college and if you wasn't in a even if you were just a regular person, everybody talk about their college days. And everybody loved to get up with their friend from their college days. Or if you was in a gang and you're not in a gang no more, you want to know how they're doing because you shared something with them. You shared something with them that was a point in time connected. I like when people do that. Thank you, my baby. Thank you, my boom, boom, boom. They're forever connected. Exactly. Forever connected. So we have to remember these things and why does this one still speak to that one? Because they shared something. They got good times too. But it's just all bad. You could be in a cult. But it's not just all bad every single day. It's not. They had good days where they laughed and they joked and they did music.
Out of college and graduate, especially on time. So when you graduate, it's immediately like, yeah, I used to go there. It's not normal to be like, I go there. Okay, so seeing them every day was a bit strange, and then I was getting bombarded with like all these activities. Mind you, I told you I was working and doing all this other stuff, and it's like every time I would say I couldn't go to something, there was this disappointment, like I was letting them down in some way. And now we're gonna get to the point of how I almost got kicked out, because at this point I'm technically in. Technically, I am having a standing weekly Bible study appointment with them, where we would sit in a booth in the commons upstairs away from everybody, and we would do guided Bible study with the leader of the church and another member who seems to be one of their top recruiters because they've recruited a lot of people since I got kicked out. Also, I'd like to point out that a week or two after the retreat and I solidified those Bible study appointments with the girls and everything, it's like my RA kind of backed off, if that makes any sense. So like they were still nice, but not as, hey, it was more like, hey, how you doing? You know what I mean? Like real, like they became laid back. So I'm like, oh my God. Now when I'm reflecting, I'm like, he wasn't selling me anymore because I was already on the conveyor belt about to like go to the more red flags. They talked about salvation a lot.
Stitch Fix. Get pieces that fit you in 3 easy steps. Tell us your
About salvation in terms of religion, it's usually just the saving of one's soul in terms of sin and its consequences. However, there was a catch when it came to this organization, that I could only receive salvation through them. They talked down on other organizations and churches. I found out that they had an issue with members of their church dating people outside of the church, especially if you were baptized in that church. They felt like it was almost cross-contamination if you had friends or dated anyone outside of the church, unless you were explicitly trying to recruit them. What? You're not allowed to have friends of other churches? Most of my friends have a variety of religions, so that's already going to be an issue. And even a lot of my friends with the same religion don't go to the same church. So I'm like, how is this going to work, sis? Like, how? I remember the fateful day that I got dropped very vividly. One last thing to insert too. There was a superiority complex where I had even asked at one point, like, hey, why is it not okay to have people date somebody that's the same religion that goes to a different church? And they insinuated that people who went to different churches might not be taught properly, meaning that they were still damned basically for all of eternity, and the only way to true salvation was through their church. Basically an elitist mindset, which is very, very, very big on the red flag scale for cults. Big red flag. So fast forwarding to how I got kicked out. I had crap ton of jobs when all this was going on, and
Hold up, Miss Leo, don't go nowhere.
Bible study day where basically told them once we got there, they were like, did you do the readings for the Bible study? And mind you, the readings were like pretty lengthy, and it was like a section you'd have to read and then come in. And I said, hey y'all, like I have, an extreme workload this past week.
And before we get to the next video, we're going to do an intermission, right? So y'all know I love music, right? And y'all know I love all eras, types of music. And Miss Sugar Delight love all types of music. So what we're going to do, we're going to be having DJ parties. We're going to be like, I'm going to be live. She's going to be live. We want y'all to have a good time and to come enjoy the music. So if Sugar Delight is still here, soon as she finished, before I go on to the next video, I want to show y'all some of Miss Leo's work. I love her work, and I'm going to promote my sister. And then Sugar Delight, if she's still here, where are you, sister? She's gonna be dropping links to her Bigo and my Bigo. Remember, we're just focusing on music. We ain't people like, oh, Bigo was this big. No, anything in this world is what you make it. You don't have to go to the roasting sectors. You got a lot of people on, just like you got a lot of people on Bigo and YouTube and everything else. Oh, thank you, King Kev. Thanks for letting us know. King Kev, you're going to make me cry. You're going to make me cry. I'm so glad you thought the pendant was everything. You're going to make me cry, King Kev. I know how special that pendant, and I know what that pendant is about. And you're going to make me cry. Yeah, I know how I feel about my big brother. I want to say little brother, but King Kev, my big brother. He's my big brother. Thank you, Coffee. Well, we're going to be doing music. We're going to be having rhythm and blues parties, just blue parties, just soul parties, northern soul, southern soul. But every we're going to be going at it because I do music. I know. That's why I said you're going to make me cry. Don't do it to me, Kev. Don't do it to me, Kev. Don't do it to me. Yeah, I know how I feel about my co-host and my brother, my little tea biscuit over there, and how I feel about my chat. And I literally, emotionally, really care about all of you guys and all of you guys' well-being. Because we all meet here for a reason. We all meet here to learn from each other, to look out for each other, to have information for one another. And no, I do not do drama and stuff like that. So it might not be as big as other people. But the people that come in here and want to be family, hey, this is just the channel for you. And I also, yeah, Miss Leo be doing, and I didn't even know that. I just saw her pop in. Yeah, I know I got support, but let this finish. So we could show some of Miss Leo's work. Miss Leo, you could. Let me see if I can find it myself. And Miss Rod, I need for her to drop her thing too, because we gotta support each other.
Had exams. I have, all these different jobs. And this particular week, I wasn't able to read. So can we actually read that piece together and go over it while we're here? We're here for an hour. They would do this for an hour. So I'm like, all right. And it'd be one-on-one. Like, it was serious grooming, y'all. So then the hour would happen. And I'm like, bro, they got so irritated when I told them that I didn't do the reading. This is not a class. I just didn't understand that. Like, to me, it just seemed very logical. Like, hey, this girl has like 4 jobs and she's a full-time student, and like she just didn't have the time. And it was almost like they questioned my commitment to everything. They reluctantly kind of went through the text with me, were real dry, real irritated about everything. Then the next week, I come back during the same time for our Bible study. I did the readings this time. And again, because what was that? Peer pressure. That was a fear tactic. That was a control and manipulation tactic to guilt trip me for not reading a Bible verse. Like, what? Mind you, I have all these jobs and homework, and I cut out the specific time because they thought it was important, and I thought it would be good too. So I was like, bruh, I cut out this time chunk for them. I show up after my job, and that job was in the same building we would meet in. I walk down the steps, I sit down at the booth. They ain't there. They ain't show up. 20 minutes passed, they ain't show up. So I'm texting them, no reply. I'm calling them, no reply. Did I miss something? I went and checked to see maybe I'm here on the wrong day. I don't be sleeping much, so maybe it's just like a lack of sleep issue. That wasn't it either, y'all. Finally, after our time slot completely passes, one of the girls, the chief recruiter, texts me back and is like,
yeah, we're actually at another school right now.
And just for FYI, the other school was Towson, if you're in the Baltimore area. And I'm like, why? We have an appointment today, right? And they're like,
we do.
Exactly. So, and she was like, oh, very important piece of information. During that last session, they mentioned getting baptized to me and how soon I would like to schedule my baptism. I have never in one day since all this began, when my RA came up to me, discussed baptism. Not one day. Because I didn't know these people very well, and I was still on an exploration journey just to see if this was even the right choice for me. That's why I wanted to do the studies. Like, the studies was the only thing I really wanted to do, to read and learn and do certain things. I was like, I don't know when I'm going to do the baptism or if I'm going to do it. Right now, I would just like to focus on reading and learning and getting as much information as possible to guide me on my spiritual journey, so I can you know what I mean? Just make well-informed decisions. And that probably is what set them off, because the very next meeting they were like,
yeah, since you don't know when you will get baptized, we really just don't want to waste our valuable time.
Does that sound religious to y'all? Like, literally the Dalai Lama was talking about cultivating love, compassion, all these different things, healing. They literally told me I was wasting their time because I didn't want to get baptized after knowing y'all for a few weeks. Literally a few weeks. That was one of the last times I actually physically texted them. And then I ran into them in the comments a few times when they were soliciting. And then I really had a brain moment and realized I think these girls actually solicited me before in the comments, and I turned them down. And then my RA got me to go to the retreat with the same group of people. Does that make sense? So I saw them in the comments, and they, for a little while, they would just look the other way when I was walking, y'all. I literally got kicked. I was not good enough for a cult, y'all. This is just, they just started blatantly ignoring me for a while. And I'm like, hey, y'all, then
did you hear something?
I'm like, y'all cold. Dang, they are cold. But yeah, basically that's how things started going. And then every once in a blue moon for the rest of that semester, I would see Crystal, and she would be looking at me like I was damned, or I was doomed or about to perish, and just this look of pity,
Hey Bree, how are you doing right now?
Like, I felt like I was talking to Iyanla Van Zant, the way she was like, and she really, I knew she expected me to say that I was going through it all, and I actually low-key was, but I was like, did they put a curse on me? Man, I'm gonna need y'all to pray on me, because I don't know, they might have put a curse on me low-key, because that following year was a little crazy. Like, there was a lot of death and crazy stuff. They might have put a damn hex on me, y'all. Pray on this video. But needless to say, I would tell her every time, like, oh, I would just focus on purely the blessings and beautiful things, which you guys have been one of the most beautiful things. I would be like, yeah, I finally got the opportunity of a lifetime. I'm, traveling here. My channel is doing well. I got hired for this and blah, blah, blah. And y'all, I did that on purpose. I would tell all the beautiful things, and a normal person or a person that's genuinely happy for you will be genuinely happy for you. But the leaders and everybody be like,
oh, okay. Like,
they was mad that they spelling worked. They just was not rocking when I would tell them good things were happening. And another girl on my floor who I was actually really cool with, she ended up being in the next round of inductions into that church. And when I say I haven't seen or spoken to that girl since, I'm talking about like, she disappeared off the face of the planet. I saw one baptism picture and then she just not disappeared as in like kidnapped, but like I haven't seen her post any pictures pretty much with anyone outside of her family immediately and the church at all. Like, period, boo, period. And so what reminded me of this story is actually one of the guys from the church. I was coming from one of my best friend's houses, and literally over this past winter, I got in the car with an Uber driver, and I knew he looked familiar, and I had a good feeling when I saw him, like, not how to put this, like, good feeling as though like, oh, you're really a familiar face, and I don't associate bad with you, but I still feel uneasy. And I couldn't point out, like, why do I feel uneasy about him, though I don't feel like I have bad memories about this person. And then he slowly worked into the conversation, like, do you still go to the church? And I was like, no. I was like, I got kicked out. And he was just like, really? That's another thing. The men in this organization seem to be kind of like oblivious to everything going on, but the women knew, okay? My lifelong friend Tracy, literally, sis went through it all. They kicked her out because of how her Instagram pictures were, like if she would wear a crop top. And I was like, just the fact that a religious organization has people literally narking and policing their members' Instagrams and reporting it back to the higher ups to get you kicked out, or saying that because you're dating someone that's not in this church, you get kicked out, is just insane. So yeah, that is the story of how I got introduced into a cult and kicked out of the cult. Everyone that I look at that's been a long time like inductee, I haven't seen them post pictures with anybody but people in that church. So yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this story. It's really late in the morning right now, so I'm about to go to sleep. But yeah, I apologize if it was a little all over the place. I was super nervous to tell this story, but that just goes to show like how much I was actually groomed during this process, because I felt like a feeling of like guilt or shame. But then when I really like refer this story to other people and I finally opened up to family about this experience, it just be like, dang, I was really in the middle. I was out here, y'all. I was in the woods for days with no cell service. Like anything could have happened. So I hope y'all take this as a learning lesson from me. I'm not saying never go on a religious retreat, but honestly, if anybody tries to expedite your religious growth, run for the hills, okay? Nobody who loves and cares about you is going to force you do anything you don't want to do. They're not going to make you feel bad for common human errors. They're not going to police you. They're going to accept you and have compassion. So I feel like it was God that they actually kicked me out, because I don't know, y'all, I probably would have been knee deep in that thing. Like I was here with a clipboard recruiting people. It's not funny. I know there's people that really, really are going through this today, but I'm sorry. Like I think a lot of people, not a lot, it's been a select group of people even on the R. Kelly video, who feel that I'm like mocking serious issues. And those of you who know me know I'm very big on advocacy and I'm really into humanitarian work. Like my real life promotes actual healing and honesty, but humor is my coping mechanism. And if anybody doesn't understand that, then I don't think you should watch this channel, because like that is the biggest way, and especially it's a part of Black culture. Like I feel like we can make a joke out of anything because that's how we've managed to cope for the last few centuries of really tough, hard things. So if y'all ever see me out here and I'm cracking jokes, it is a coping mechanism. It is not because I am making light of anything. It's just literally like, bruh, if we don't laugh, then what we gonna do? We gonna keep crying? Like, I'd rather laugh than cry. But needless to say, I'm just happy that I'm out of this experience, and I am so happy that you guys are watching my channel right now. Thank you so much for watching this story time. If you want to hear another story time, request some below or just topics below, and I will literally go through my old diaries and dig in my past. Again, I am not the type to fake a story time for views or anything like that. If I was, I'd probably have like 40 on my channel. But yeah, y'all, I really do have some wild life stories, and sometimes it takes a regular life event like that Uber ride to trigger the story, because honestly that whole thing I suppressed so deep in my subconscious memory, because I literally, up until almost my senior year of school, I'd seen the same recruiters and that same group of people coming into my school regularly, and over time they would say a casual hated me after everything neutralized, but overall, they completely disregarded me ever since that Bible study incident. So I just kind of like pushed it to the back of my head, and I had a lot of other stuff to think about. So needless to say, anyway, I'm gonna stop blabbing on y'all. I love y'all. Peace out.
Now, what she should have said is, I disregard them. Not they disregard me, I disregard them. I don't need your hello. I don't need your goodbye. I don't need none of that. Now, we got love her attitude about it, that she didn't get too deep into learning experience for her and hope others learn. Yeah, like predators that sniff people who been abused. Cults know that people, a lot of them, like I said, a lot of people, thank you, KR, a lot of people, like, we got to stop thinking, we got to change our train of thought. Because sometimes people come from good houses, good mothers, good fathers. And the fact is that's where people don't understand. That's where the spirituality cults come in at. You could be good, but they want you to want more. Like, my life is good, but guess what? Your life is not good enough. You need a spiritual awakening. You need to open your chakras. Like, they will hit you with stuff like that, and you're going to think, wow, I'm going further. I'm going to in tune with nature, not knowing that you are in nature every single day. How you know you're in nature? Because you are breathing. You are breathing. That means you are in nature, right? So we're going to bring awareness to a lot of these scam issues. We're not playing on here. We're not playing. We are not playing. All right, Kev. Yeah, but like I said, we don't know. See, that this is why they send a scouter out. They send a scouter out to find out about you. And they know what mechanisms to use against you. So if you come from a bad childhood, that's the angle they're going to hit you with. You got mommy issues, that's the angle they're going to hit you with. You got daddy issues, that's the angle they're going to hit you with. That's right, tell them, Shantae. Or if you've been in trouble, or if you've been a menace to society, but also if your life was good. They don't care really about your background. They want you to follow them. They don't care about you. They don't care if you got a good life or bad life. They want you to follow them. So some people got great lives, great mother, great father, great family. So they're gonna hit you with something else. They're gonna hit you with the spirituality and learning about all these Greek gods and Zeus and Horus, and they're gonna say it as they're gonna expand your mind. Yeah, but you gotta remember the people who that's so true, KR. But you gotta remember people who wasn't abused. I'm telling you, they don't care what happened in your life. They just want you to follow them. They just want you to obey them. So if you're not a broken person, they're gonna come at you. Yeah, they're gonna come at you differently. They're gonna come at you differently. They're gonna come at you in an intellectual way. They're gonna come on, oh, I read this book. This book is really good. And it talks about blank blank. You should try it. Then they're gonna tell you this stuff about that book. To remember, smart people like to learn new things. They're gonna come at you and see you gotta cover yourself in all directions in your life. On every part of your life, you have to you have to cover yourself because you don't know what angle they're coming for. You know how their job is to recruit. A recruiter don't give a goddamn nothing about your past life. They use your past life to recruit you. And it's not always bad. It's not always bad. Now, before we go on to the next video, like I said, we're going to do like Ms. Ryder died, drop some links in this channel. This is what them links are about. Oops, video finished. Right. But like I said, we have to support. Damn, she got commercial on top of commercial. What's she doing to us? Sorry, I got to skip it. Now, if you are into wanting to save some money, if you want to learn about couponing and the different apps and stuff that you can go to where you could save you some money, the links that she dropped in here, please click on it. No, KR, no, I'm none of the above. None of the above. Thank you so much, though. Thank you so much. I am none of the above. But if you want to save you some food, save you some foods. Matter of fact, you want to save money on food, you want to save money on product. I just want you to see her table, because we have to support people that's bringing us information. Yeah, Jim. So again, she dropped the links in the chat. She dropped the links in the chat. So we also want to, I got to show, where Ms. Leo at? Ms. Rod is in here. Like I said, we're going to be promoting them links. We're going to be promoting them links. You don't lose clicking on the links. You gain clicking on the links. And I showed you guys numerous of videos that does the same thing. But when we do it, nobody don't want to click on the link and nobody don't want to watch the video. There you go, my baby. And I have to hit you up with an email, Miss Leo. And I must say, everybody who have gotten who you have done work for has been bragging and bragging and bragging. I don't even have enough stuff to say about you, Miss Leo. I don't have enough to say because people saying it enough. Well, let me get your the thing up first, sweetie. Your Instagram up first. I've been hearing so much. I have to talk about it because I promote it. Let me see if she's still in here. There we go. I'm gonna go through it really quick because we're gonna go back through it tonight. And if Ms. Leo has the time, she's gonna step up here. Right? Let me get Ms. Rod off. Like I said, y'all saw her table, y'all saw her savings. Go to her video. If somebody can drop the link to her page. Hey, thank you, Jim. It doesn't have nothing to do with mentally weak people. We have to stop putting that out there. We have, because grooming, a lot of people get groomed. Ain't got nothing to do with weak-minded people. Sometimes you don't know that you got groomed. Especially when they say you're doing it, especially if they say you're doing it for your betterment, you're doing it for humanity, and then you start going, yeah. This is my personality anyway. This is where I belong. We got to start rewriting and stuff, saying, oh, they suffer. They mommy, they daddy, they mentally weak. Everybody could get got, baby. Everybody could get got. Let's not never get that twisted. We just got to be thankful that we were not put in that predicament. But before we get to the next video, I am going, not all culture, well, maybe yeah. But if we don't start calling it for the way it is, we're going to think that they just target weak-minded people. Yeah, we're going to show her my Miss Leo stuff right now. I have not. Miss Rod been telling me about her. Everybody been telling me about her work. Whoever ordered her work, baby, I've been getting nothing but praise. I've been seeing they work on Instagram, which you probably, if you're friends with her, I'll show y'all guys later. But let me just show y'all really quick what she do. We're going to run it down. I'm just going to run it down. And then when we come back on at 7 o'clock or 7:30, she got the super dad. Remember, Father's Day is coming up. She got the super dad. One lady was asking about the cell phone. She got the cell phone. She got the cups. Remember, you can customize the cups that go. Can y'all see this?
Listen. We don't want to see this if we're stuck in the UK and don't get international shipping. No, I don't want to see.
What do you mean you don't get international? You couldn't mail it to
I
you?
want to be international good. Girl, this is not fair. This is a tease, Miss Leo. This is an actual tease.
She said yes.
Oh, you do international? Yay! Okay. I'm happy now. I'm happy. I was a bit pissed off before. I was like, wait, we can't get it in the UK.
All right. It all depends if people mail it to you.
Okay.
She is her own boss, her own entity. So she have your ad now. It may cost a little couple of extra to mail it to you, but at least you know it's custom made. And at least you know that you're gonna put whatever you want on that cup, including pictures and everything. We're gonna go through this really quick. You know, she got buttons. Remember, you go have what you want in your shirt. You can have what you want on your cell phone case. She does for Mother's Day. She does pennants. She did this for something where you all needed a mask. She does pillows. She does sheets. She does sweaters. This is socks. This is my cutest one, but these are socks. These are party bags. She also does things that you can put on. And if you have an old picture of somebody you really love, Guess what? She's going to take that picture, she's going to put it in a nice glass thing to sit on your table. You know, she does Mickey Mouse, this guy, that guy, but they all from Mickey. I don't know all their names, right? This is my favorite one because of the colors. And guess what? She can add that background and stuff to your thing if you want it. She does the keychain. She does pennants. I don't like the one with the that, not because of that, because it makes me. I don't lost so many people. I just hate it. Just hurts my heart to know that somebody there is an angel. But that's why I flip past that fast. But look at that. You carry your favorite people right on your phone, right? Then, like I said, she does customized mugs. So it's whatever you want. These are just some of the things, but you'll never know until you order. And then you get the things that you want. However, how you want it. That's what she do. And y'all always hear me yelling at Carter all the time, right? That's not my dog, but this is exactly what Carter looks like, right? When he's not. That's when he's not cut. She does if you want to drink a beer or something, she has the thing for the beer, but it's also a keychain. She does water party. I mean, this lady does everything, and I haven't heard nothing but great results from my sister. Nothing but great results. You heard what Kev said, right? Yeah, support my sister. And don't forget to support Miss Rod.
I'll be heading over there soon, Missy.
Yeah, go. If y'all don't have Miss Rod page, go support her page and subscribe. Subscribe and learn how she shops. So you can learn how you shop. And you gotta remember, if certain apps do not exist in out of the USA, at least she's teaching you, let me find these apps where I'm at. You may not can't use her app. You're in the UK or wherever you at. People all over comes in here from different places. But there's apps where you are at. Is coupons where you are at. And there's digital coupons where you are at. So we're going to get into the next one right now, right? The next one, then we out of here because we got to get ready because we're going to school tonight.
It's a good thing I've got them to sleep now. I'm back.
No, yeah, but anything that you would like to say, my little tea biscuit?
Tea biscuit, you know. No, I'm good. I'll just saying, I'm back here to get them girls to bed. But yeah, I'm here now. I'm active.
Okay, here we got another story. Now, before we start this story, it looks good, but really they still can get your ass anyway, right? But it looks good. Fair use. It looks good. They can still get your ass. Remember, this for educational purposes. If you think of it, we can create it. An idea, if you think of it, we can create it. Have an idea, we can do it. Just ask. Now, actually, start with one, KR. I tell people start with one, take off the S. Take off the S and start with one. And then another one is going to come. Then another one is going to come. So start with one. And sometimes it may be a family member. Start with your niece, your grandniece, or your niece, your nephew, your little cousin. Tend to, find things for them to do. And while you're doing stuff with them, school them. While you're doing stuff with them, school them. And they don't know they're being schooled. Talk to how you feeling. How do you feel about this subject? And what happened? Because they need to know. Kids just need to know that they go by the conversations that you had. And they need to know if something really take place, I trust this person. That's all kids need to know. That's all they need to know. And you got to be willing to accept anything they have to say with no judgment. With no judgment. Because kids do a lot of things. You know, we was there. So let's go. This is without a crystal ball. Let's go. It's called How I Accidentally Joined a Cult. I'm trying to let you know. It's as simple as you think.
This will be a little bit of a different video because I just needed to get a few things off my chest. Yesterday I did a video where I shared a side-by-side of a video that was done by Jacqueline Dunn and then another one that was a response by a woman named Morgan. Apologies, and she and her husband Paul have a
Sugar, she's a little low, hon. Can you turn her up a bit?
There was
I just tried.
situation that
Oh
occurred where
no.
Jacqueline made a video, and there's a long backstory here. You
That's
have
a lot as I can go.
a group of people on one side of spectrum and another group of people on another side that think very differently. And
Now, what she's saying here is what we was trying to say to Neek. No shots or nothing, but these are some of the things we was trying to say at Neek. We was basically saying that if you're still going to interview people that's in the cult, that's promoting it, and of course they're going to promote it the way that suits the leader. So we need to get the older people. We wasn't saying come get the old. We didn't ask for you to interview us. We didn't ask you to big up us. Maybe some have. I don't know about it. We were saying go take your, if you're a bigger channel, you have more resources, right? If you have more resources, then you need to use them resources and track down the older members who have been there from the beginning to the end, and give them a voice. They need a voice. True does not need a voice. Solar does not need a voice. We done heard they asked for 4 years already. We done heard them 4 years already.
Pushing free. Sorry, I was just thinking about True. I was watching him earlier today. Good Lord.
That's what I'm saying. We don't need. Thank you, Jim, and I appreciate that. Yeah, that is true. Hello, Houston Church United. I said, we done been hearing them for 4 damn years now. Why do we need to hear them again? They don't even need to be on the platform. They have their own platform. They have their own YouTube. They have their own Bigo. You understand? They have their own everything. Hey, Miss Black Atlanta. Well, Atlanta. I ain't got my glasses on. Athena, how you doing, sweetie? Oh, that wasn't. But she didn't realize that she was going to get people mad, KR. And people like, well, I just wanted to keeping them on the line. You a bigger channel. You have resources. So you were supposed to say, if you're going back, it's good to reach out to some old people and say, hey, they had a Yaya on there. You had a this. Go track down Yaya. Go track down Felix. Go track down other old people. Because we don't have the resources to do it. And a lot of people may figure, well, some people may not want the resources, but they may want people that's on a bigger platform. They figure I might not get paid, but 1 million people is watching me, or 1 million people is going to see this. That's what the issue was. I'm not And it wasn't like, oh, we hating or we sweating or we don't care. Yeah, track down Pocahontas. Exactly, King. Track them down. You have the resources, you have the platform. It would have took a for you to find out who these people was. We don't like we really wanted to see True talk about speculate. We don't wash. Just this time of the day, 1 meal a day. We done heard that 5 whole freaking year. What do we need to hear this for now? You know, people don't understand. You cannot abuse your platform. You cannot. Your platform, like if you, yeah, I would love to hear from OMAC too. Lord knows I've been trying to contact OMAC, but OMAC don't want. No, he's with the Moors now. He wants no part of it. But I was trying to contact these old people. Hey, Lisa.
I want to know where's Mr. Loyal. Loyal, is he still on the run? That's what I want to know. What's going on with him?
Who?
Loyal.
No, they done told the lawyer doing what he's supposed to be doing as a faithful student.
Yeah, I want to know if he's still around or what. I want to know what's
he's
the
around. They
full
made him
story.
shut his mouth. They made him shut his mouth.
Oh boy.
Right. So, like I said, that's where my argument is at. I can't speak for other people. And it wasn't about speaking to the people who've been, now she calling them dumb girl, she done called us a cult. I'm like, girl, please, bye, girl, bye. But I wasn't gonna go back and forth. But what I would say is that you didn't need to speak to us neither. No, we're not mad. We ain't double mad. We ain't single mad or 3 times mad, 4 times. I'm just saying that this is serious because he has a following. And your following is much bigger. I showed you guys on his page, he doesn't get as many views as y'all think he gets. Nobody care about his classes. They care about his bullshit. Yeah, Shantae, exactly. But if you have the platform, then really do, and you do a lot of investigating work, and you get to the bottom of stuff, you would have let me do a little research. Let me find out who the old people are. Let me try to use my platform to track these people down. Let's hear from the ex-members in the cult that they have people have not heard from. You know, track down Philly. A lot of them are still on social media. You could have tracked down Serenity and let her start it with her bullshit, and then all of them still really don't talk bad about him. But at least they're not pushing his agenda no more. Yeah, you got that right. But let's hear from this other lady. Let's hear from this other lady right here.
They are critical of one another, right? And in a way to build content and get views, sometimes they will provoke one another to react and do things, to say things, and it just, YouTube is a messy place and it's a weird place. And after almost a year on this platform, I'm still feeling kind of shell-shocked at times about what happens and how the lines get blurred, right? So I made a video about how Jacqueline Glenn is concerned about Morgan and her relationship with Paul. And this has been sort of this cascading event for Morgan and Paul where they are saying that what Jacqueline is saying about her and him is not true. And it is bringing an onset of criticism to them and sort of scrutiny to them that they didn't really believe that they signed up for. And then you have Jacqueline saying that this is something that she's concerned about and she had to say it on YouTube, right? Because what better place to actually get things done than to make a video and call out your friends? No, just kidding, anyways. So I have to be honest, and this is where we're going to get off sidetracked. But I knew people like Paul and Morgan not too long ago. Like seriously. And like within the last few years. and I was involved with a church that was similar to what they probably go to. Maybe not the same. I would say the version that I was in was a lighter version of what they have, but it's all packaged. It might be packaged differently with the sermons being a shorter period of time, and maybe the pastor that I had not being as controversial in what he said, but the underlying sentiment and the underlying doctrine was the same. Because my pastor came from a Pentecostal upbringing. Now, I came from a Catholic upbringing, and I spent my entire life in the Catholic Church with my family, my grandparents. My mother went to Catholic school. My grandparents were very involved in their local Catholic church, Holy Family. I attended Mass and Catechism at a church called St. John's. I was baptized, first, confirmation. I went all the way up communion. I mean, I did everything, right? And my confirmation was kind of the end for me, because after all of that time, and I decided to become a member of the church, I went through the entire teaching and I realized I didn't like it. The more I learned about the church, the more I learned about the practices, the more I learned about the doctrine, the more I learned about the hierarchy, Rome, the Pope, the saints, all of it. I just didn't agree with it. I didn't agree with the way women were treated. I didn't agree with the way that it was handled in my family. I didn't agree with the way it divided my family. My grandparents were very steadfast in their belief until the very end. And my mom and her sisters, they kind of rejected it. And as they rejected it, it became an issue within our family. And it ultimately divided the family to a point where my grandmother would every time we were together, would always talk to us about why we weren't in church, reminding us why we need to be in church. And even at my grandfather's funeral, made some statements that just weren't very flattering about what happened to him and why he passed away. And it's messy, right? And so going through that experience, I never wanted to get back involved in a church. And I was thinking about this because for a long time, I just stayed in this place where I was like, I don't know what I believe. I'm not sure. I think there's something, but there's not. And I did a lot of exploring. I was like into rocks for a while. I meditated. I was into yoga. I read about Taoism and Hinduism and all the different Eastern philosophies. And I got to this place where it's like, well, if there's so many different beliefs in the world, how is there one that's true? And so I just came to a place where I just was like, I don't believe anything. And then my husband's mother got sick, and then my uncle got sick, and then our family got really rattled by my son's health. And I ended up feeling very vulnerable and very alone. We had just moved to this sort of rural community where it was great because we could have a larger home and a really good school system for my son, but I didn't have a lot of friends because everyone around us was in church. And so I, maybe indirectly dealing with the grief of what was going on in my family and with my son, was seeking something. I needed a community. I needed something. I needed a place to go. And I needed a sense of I would have support. I would have friendship. I would have kinship. I would have people that were like-minded. I could connect to and feel a sense of community. Like I was longing for that during that time. And so the only thing that they had out here were churches. And I was like, well, if I were in the city, I could do, different social events. They just don't have that here. So more and more I was talking to people in the community, and a couple of people brought up this one church and, you should just check it out. It'll be very different. I was very reluctant because of what I went through growing up in my Catholic faith. And I was like, I don't want to do another church, but one of my friends told me about this place, said, check this out. I went onto the website. Everything looked very different. The sermons were packaged in a way where it was like you wrote out, it was like a self-help booklet every day for the week with questions and a study guide. And the sermons were taking verses from the Bible and sort of packaging them into a way to help you live a better life, which is really not how the Bible was written. If you know the Bible, it's not designed to be a self-help book, but rather the Word of God. but the way that they packaged it, it felt like you were taking what the Bible said and using how to implement it. It felt like going to school and having a section where you studied, and then here's the verses, and this is how you apply it. It felt like being a psychology class, and I enjoyed that. And not really thinking about how the verses in context meant or what the actual Bible said, or, I mean, and I had read the Bible, but when you're Catholic, some of us don't really read it because the priests go through it in mass, and, you know, you every year it's like they go through the books, and, you know, everything is very controlled in the Catholic Church. And while some people are very reading their Bibles and stuff, there's a lot of,
like I tell you guys all the time, there is nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with going to church or whatever you choose to do. The problem comes in when you don't read the Bible yourself. Everybody walk there, everywhere they go, they got a Bible in their hand, and people are waiting for somebody to say, turn to this page, turn to that page, turn to this page. And you're going to read it. You're going to read it. Just what they told you to read, and just that scripture, and then they're going to explain the scripture to you. So which means that takes you out of your thinking of what that scripture is, because you think that person studied it enough that you don't need to have a thought on what that scripture is saying, because they are telling you what the scripture is. Now, if you think about what they say, and then you think about what you read on your own, and if it goes together, you'll be like, yes, yes. But a lot of places you go, people are telling you what page to turn to, when to get up, when to get down, and you're not. So if you choose, I don't care which book, whatever religion you're in, whatever book they give you, you have to get into the studies yourself. I'm not talking about the assignments that they tell you to do. I'm not talking about that. Well, this is your assignment for the week. These are the things you have to do for the week. And then we're going to do homework on it. And then we're going to do a test on it. No, that's not learning it on your own. That's not asking God or whoever you pray to. That's not asking them for understanding. Your job is to get understanding. Like, God, what are you saying? Like, let me get my own understanding. And that's where a lot of people trip up at. They trip up and they don't know they fell into a cult. Like, all these videos is going to say how I accidentally. See the word accidentally? That means they don't care how you was raised. Not everybody got mommy, daddy issues. We want to, me and my little tea biscuit here, and my tea biscuit, we getting all into that. We're going to be doing a lot of homework. She's going to be emailing me stuff. I'm going to be emailing her stuff. And we're going to pick the time, you know, when we both are ready. Because some things I'm going to have to be dropping it. Some things she going to drop. You know, my panelists have to shine too. And if they have information, I need for them to blah, 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 blah. You ready for that, my tea biscuit?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Yes, Lisa. Nobody can really lead you into nothing. They really can't. But they can't lead you into spirituality. You have it already. Ever since you was a little kid, people forget when they was kids because they think about them being adults. They forget about when they was kids. And when you was like, Lord, oh Lord, please, I done got in trouble in school. I hope my mama don't find out. Lord, please, I don't want to get no trouble when I get home. And for some reason, you didn't get in no trouble. You didn't need nobody to lead you into that. You was doing that on your own. You was seeking the Lord on your own. Or I hope I passed this test. These certain things you was doing on your own. You had like had a imagination on your own. Oops. Oops. There we go. No one can schedule. I love how you put that, Kev. I so love how you put that. No one can schedule your spirituality. And like I told you guys before, and this is the one who talks to the freaking aliens and shit. Wait till you see that video. Well, she thinks she does. But what that is, I'm going to get you to buy these stones. It's a fucking rock. People may get mad because they believe in it. But you can't believe in it. You can use it, but you can't believe in it. You can't believe a rock is going to do this, and that because they told you so. Because if they didn't tell you, know how many times people bought rubies and rocks and onyx, and they knew all of this without them. They didn't know the meaning. They just thought that it was beautiful, and they bought it. So if you didn't know what none of these things stood for, did any of the things happen to you differently because you bought it? Because if it's supposed to do it, whether you know the meaning or not, if it's supposed to do it, that means it done it for you. Yeah, King Kev. They want the cheat sheet. They want the easy way to go, and they also feel like they're contributing. How are you contributing to the world, but you're looking for spirituality for yourself? So that's not about the world. It's about you. And that's very selfish. Every time you go to these places and you want to fix you and everything's all about you, then you wonder why you get taken. Because life is about doing things for others. And then what you need, God gives you. You're going to get it. Because if you don't feel, regardless of how bad your day is, yeah. Sometimes when you do something, you could be having a bad day. And if a kid or somebody come to you and you go, oh, hey, little kid or whatever, or it could be an adult person, and you could just do the slightest thing to help them without even. And when they so thankful, doesn't that change your day? Doesn't that change your day? An act of kindness. When you do an act of kindness, I don't care how bad your day is. The minute you do an act of kindness, and the minute somebody says thank you, that changed your day, that changed your spirit, that changed everything. But it starts off as an act of kindness. You do receive things from doing acts of kindness. Yeah, Miss Leo. I have seen people in the field eating grass. Damn, Lisa, like cows because they. Oh my God, I gotta find that video. The moon rock I want is got my swisher. The only moon rock I want is got my swisher. But we're going to finish listening to her because I don't know. I don't know if it's strictly about religion or not. I don't know. But again, these are people's stories. These are people's stories, and they deserve to be heard. They deserve to be heard, and we're supposed to learn something from their stories. Hopefully. I told you this page is about the truth, but we're going to put it in the nicest ways as possible.
Those Catholics that they just rely on the priests and the community, right? So this was a different experience for me, like really getting into the word, really getting into the Bible. And I went to my first service there, and it was like so, I can't even describe it. I remember I walked in, and it was like at a high school or middle school, and it was loud. There was like loud music, which was very different. I grew up with hymns, sitting, kneeling, and organs. And this was rock bands, and people had hot coffee, and they were dressed really hipster, and like cute skinny jeans, and women that had super cute tops on, and lots of cute makeup, and not enough makeup, but just not a ton of makeup, but just enough, and cute clothing that was stylish yet modest, and everyone was really happy and really bubbly, and it felt very welcoming. And I was at a spot in my life where I needed that. And I remember walking
I would take you guys swimming, but we don't have our swimsuits.
Save on top brand swimwear at Sierra.
in feeling like, oh my God, I don't have to be alone. And I sat through my first service and I cried because it had been such a long time since I had been in any sort of church. Cute clothing that was stylish.
Now you heard us say before the commercial, I felt to myself, oh my God, I don't have to be alone.
Stylish yet modest, and everyone was really happy and really bubbly, and it felt very welcoming. And I was at a spot in my life where I needed that, and I remember walking in feeling like, oh my God, I don't have to be alone. And I sat through my first service and I cried because it had been such a long time since I had been in any sort of church. And I remember feeling guilty because that's what you do when you're Catholic. And I remember feeling like I want to have this feeling again. I just want to keep having that feeling. I don't know that I wanted to believe. I just wanted to have that feeling because I'd felt so alone for such a long time. And suddenly I found myself invested and involved in this group. I didn't know anything about their doctrine, very limited. I mean, their website was it gave you enough without giving you much. And that's how a lot of these websites and a lot of these sort of rock band church feel like you're walking into a modern place where there's modern thoughts and modern feelings, and you won't have to deal with the guilt or the shame or the judgment that comes along with some forms of Christianity. And so I thought I would be safe there. I thought I would make friends there. I thought I could maybe rediscover and explore my faith. And somehow, I don't know how this happened, because I've always credited myself for being a very logical, pragmatic thinker, critical thinker. I got really invested, and I was going to groups all the time, and I was going to women's groups and Bible studies and home churches, and I was volunteering. And initially what it looked like on the surface was a group of people that were in life together, doing life together, helping people, supporting one another, helping people live throughout and be their best selves, and without the guilt of, am I going to be part of something that is anti-LGBTQ+? Am I going to be something that's in a system that is patriarchal and anti-women? Those were my biggest concerns. And for a while, I was able to ignore things. And then I learned pretty quickly that the pastor, over time, I learned that he came from a Pentecostal background. And he had grown up in the Assemblies of God. And they are very charismatic. They speak in tongues. They're very strict. He grew up not drinking alcohol. He and his wife were saved themselves. I don't even know if they kissed before they got married. His children were homeschooled. He and all of their friends homeschooled their kids. And then I started getting more invested and more ingrained in this. And I started looking around me, and I realized every single person in my life was homeschooling their kids. Many of them were very critical of the government. They were apprehensive when they discussed politics, but they were very adamant about their beliefs. People that I never would have been friends with before, who were against people in the LGBTQ+ became my friends. People that were anti-choice, which was something I was very not okay with. I had always been a pro-choice kind of girl. And people that were anti-education and suspicious of the public schools, which was crazy to me because my mom was a teacher and my father was on the school board. And my dad worked in public health my whole life. And so I was a girl that like was all about public schools. I went to public high school. I went to public university. I mean, I was all about being secular. And I started watching myself slowly morphing into this thing that I didn't understand. And I started becoming suspicious of school because everyone around me was homeschooling. And but everyone didn't look like what I thought. Like I imagined homeschoolers in the Christian world to be like what you see on the Duggars, right? And I imagined the bigotry to be not in a church like that, but it was there. I remember sitting at a sermon and my pastor basically saying,
Now, the first video, like I said, please come to, please come. Get a chance to rewind the tape. When you get a chance, rewind the video. I had a college student who wasn't here. A college student talk about how they almost got her in college. And me, I spoke upon how they get college kids. And why this is important, because a lot of people are from not good neighborhoods. A lot of people are, but both from bad neighborhoods or good neighborhoods. Neither parent talk about cults. They'll talk about sororities and don't get drunk and don't do this and don't do, but we never say, look, this is how these cults work. We don't talk to our kids about that, but we send them off not knowing anybody. We would sometimes parents think the minute you drop your kid off, they're gonna be okay. We assume they're gonna be okay. But we so happy that they made it in there, especially if they're in an Ivy League school or one of the big schools. We're thinking they okay. We honestly think they okay. We think that an 18-year-old that has now went to college, who has a 4.0 average, could take on manipulators. They took on books. They took on English, math, calculus. They took on all of that stuff. But we think they could take on cults and manipulators. We didn't think that we better warn them about that too. We need to warn them about that too. Miss Black Athena. It's sad how you go somewhere to expand your mind and others target the kids and try to get them before they have life experience or discernment for the info they receive. I saw that was being used for good, but how easily you gotta remember, a lot of things people put in for good, it started out as good, it still is good, but the crook said, I could use this for something else. I can use this for something else. Yeah, but we have to, when we too busy, so glad that, hey, my child is not going to be in a game. My child ain't going to be young and pregnant. Woo-hoo. Clap, clap. And not knowing that you sent them to another place where there are predators. You just was thinking about the predators on your block. Or you just was, if you come from a good home, you thinking about, oh, I can't wait till my kid get that diploma and become a doctor or a lawyer because our family is the best. We didn't think about them hidden cults because that's a target. So I'm glad you guys are here today and we want to learn and we want to talk and we want to learn. That's right, KR. Common sense don't be in them books. And it's bad that a lot of parents don't even know. They don't know. That's why when we come in here, we're gonna spread this word. We're gonna spread the words. See, when it's not about Nature Boy, see, when people really want to come in here and get something out of it, it's one thing. But we want to really learn in here. We want to really help people because everybody in here take this knowledge and you help somebody. You know, you got it's up to us to get the message out there. We all are in different communities. We got to get the message out there.
That men and women should not be friends, and men should be the leader of the church, of the family, and that women must submit to their husbands, and that husbands should not, look online at certain things, and women and men should be very careful about what they do online. And he often talked about how, if you're married and you are friends with another person of the opposite sex, you are basically committing adultery, and men should watch their wives. And it was all packaged in a way where you felt like what you were hearing wasn't what it was. I don't know how to say that, but it was very old school, let's just say, but yet presented in a way where it didn't feel that way. So you didn't really know what you were hearing. It's hard to explain. But suddenly I started following around my husband, who I'd never been in a situation where I was like, yes, I must submit to you, and like demanding that he lead the family, like, you need to be our leader, like, you need to come to church too. And I got him involved, and I start working on getting my son in homeschooling, and I'm making bone broth because I'm scared of all of the chemicals, and suddenly we're questioning medicine, and everything that I had once been so steadfast knowing that was okay, I suddenly found myself like in an alternate universe. And even when I was in the Catholic Church, this didn't happen, like, at all. At all. I realized that indirectly I got involved with the church that was all about the spirit, and the spirit moving within you and controlling you and having a relationship with the spirit, but not speaking in tongues. So very Pentecostal-like, without the tongue speaking. And it was very much people constantly talking about the Holy Spirit working within them, speaking through them, guiding them to do things, moving them towards things. And everyone was always very, wanting to pray over people. I mean, prayer circles where people were like putting their hands on people. It was very different than what I grew up in. And it was very weird. And the people that knew me in my life were very like taken aback by this sort of presentation, because what I was starting to espouse and say and talk about, I mean, my feed on Facebook and on Twitter at the time, it was all about God. And I was writing passages, and I was sharing like Psalms and Proverbs, and I was listening to Bethel music and Hillsong. And if you know anything about Bethel, I mean, come on, I was rocking to Bethel music, and this is like a faith healing church. I didn't even know that that's what they did, but that's what we listened to at church. And it didn't even hit me until it was a very slow process where I found myself more and more falling away from myself and getting more and more surrounded. And the further I got in, the more the church wanted from me. So it was make sure that you're volunteering, make sure that you're tithing at least, X percent, make sure that you're involved in your groups. And so it got to a point where I was at church on Sundays, groups on Mondays, groups on Wednesdays. I did youth group for a while. I was doing Meals on Wheels with them. I was volunteering. I was helping with getting Sunday school stuff ready. I was walking people and greeting people at church and taking their kids to Sunday school. I was like leading Bible studies. I somehow got into this position where I don't even know. All I remember wanting was community. And I suddenly was like so deep into something that I didn't even know what it was. And the only friends that I had anymore were within the church. And they were like, yes, just hang out with your friends. Yes, just hang out with us. Make your community here. Don't worry about the outside world. Your family is here. And it was presented in such a way that you didn't even think about how you might be starting to isolate yourself from everyone else around you, because your beliefs are kind of like, I remember just being like, God is with me everywhere. Just like it, I felt intoxicated by the spirit. that's how it made me feel. That's what it was, which is kind of how the Pentecostal church works. And you feel so drunk on it that you just want it all the time, even though it's not, I don't even know if it's real. But I remember my parents just being like, I don't even know who you are. One of my best friends was just like, who are you? You know, and like going to family events and feeling like I was better than everyone because I was at church, going to Bible studies and dissecting what everyone else was doing out in the world that wasn't Christian or wasn't walking in our faith, criticizing people, analyzing how they're not being like God. And I started to realize slowly but surely that everything that I had once held dear to me, because the pastors said, you don't need college education, you don't need public schools, women, you don't need to work out of the home. I quit my job during this time, mind you. Yeah, I did. I became a stay-at-home mom. That was never my plan. Husbands, don't be friends with men. Let your husband sleep. I mean, I became like Betty Homemaker. It was like I was in the Twilight Zone. And I remember one day feeling really disenchanted because I noticed after a couple of years that everything in the church got weirder and weirder. The pastor, I think he got into an argument with one of the other pastors and kicked him out, but it was very abruptly. And I remember I sat down with the pastor that left and he just said, I want to be a part of a church that does more for the community. And I was like, because this church always said that we were doing things for the community. And then I started to think about it and I was like, wait a minute, what do we do for the community? Nothing. Anytime they had something to do for the community, like backpacks for kids, where you would get a backpack for like a kid and that couldn't afford it, or say like the Christmas tree where you give gifts to kids or families that you like sponsor a child, the church never sponsored it. We did. So a church would just coordinate it and then we paid for everything. They had different events that we could volunteer for that were for other events, but the church didn't pay for it or sponsor it. So there wasn't really a community outreach, in fact, at all. There wasn't any sort of services set up for families. There was nothing set up for families, for children with special needs. There was no services or support for women or really for anything. And which was very different because if you think about the Catholic Church, it's very, they have the Catholic charities. So when he said that, I started to look inward and I thought, oh my God, there is nothing going on here. Like, what are we doing? And then when family members or people were struggling, I noticed that within the community that nobody was helping these people. So when a member of the church was struggling financially or something, the church wasn't offering to help them, or if they did, it was very minimal. And I remember sitting there listening to the pastor, and he was talking about how he wanted to build this humongous church, and he got jealous of other pastors who were able to build such successful churches, and that, he would see them in their cars and he would want those cars.
I should go for a run today, but it looks like it could rain.
Save on epic rain jackets at Sierra.
Thing is,
I'm not going to have one of those cars. I'm not going to do that. You'll never have to worry about it. You'll never have to worry about, what I take for this, what I take for that. But during this time, they decided they wanted to build a church because we were still staying in that, middle school. And the disclosures for the money was so bizarre. Like, we didn't know what people were making. We were just supposed to know the pastor's wife was doing the books, which seemed weird to me. They started asking us for not only tithing, but a percentage on top of that to pledge to help them build this building. So more and more the demands for money got higher and higher and higher, with no sort of understanding about where the money was going and what it was going to, because the money, they didn't have that many expenses at the time, and the money was not going back to the community at this point because they weren't doing outreach or any sort of charity. And they kept saying, well, we'll do more charity once we get there. The only goal that this church had was to bring more people to Jesus. So that's all he wanted, was to save you. And then once you got there, there was nothing there. Every sermon was the same. All the year after year, they did the same series over and over and over again, because they said that they just had to keep making it highlight and easy for people to come in. And then they wanted you to help them bring people in, invite your friends, make sure they come here. And then once you got there, there was this sort of emptiness of what next, right? And you start becoming part of this machine, and you're slowly separating yourself from everyone around you. And then you've got a pastor that has no accountability. There's no denomination around him, no rules. He kicks out the other pastor, and then drunk on power, anytime one of the members says to him, what about these? Could you do something different here? Could we add services here? Or could we do this? Or could we do that? It was always met by, if this is not how you like it, you can leave. This is my church, and this is what we're going to do. And I remember asking him one time, like, how do people become pastors? Like, what is what are the credentials, or what is the process? And he went through a program in the Pentecostal church, mind you. And so but there was no females that were leading. And although we would never say it, that was very understood that women were not to be pastors. And so slowly I realized that I had joined almost like a cult, where he had created this space where everyone around him bent to his knees. He was on the stage like the rock star after worship, and he gave us tools and told us how to live, yet he didn't have really formal education at all. He had no business telling us how to live. He didn't really even have much for pastoral ministry studies at all. He didn't have a very good theological background. He had somehow built this church based on what he had learned, because his father was a pastor in the Pentecostal church, and taken that charisma that's a part of the church and turned it into a modern day rock show that was packaging fundamental beliefs behind this bow of acceptance. And I remember the morning I woke up and I felt like I'd been punched in the gut, and I couldn't believe that I got involved in this. Because I realized that all the friends I made, I started voicing my concerns, and some of them shared the same things, but they weren't going to leave. Others did leave because it started getting weirder and weirder. But I remember this sort of come to realization with my husband, and I said, I can't do this anymore. We were 3 years in, we were thousands of dollars of donations and tithing and hours of sweat and tears of volunteering. And I remember saying to him, I think we're like in a cult. And it was the craziest experience. Like we left. And it wasn't like we had to flee for our lives, but we lost everything. It was insane. We had become isolated from all of our outside friends because we had ingrained and sculpted our life around these group of people, assuming that if we left, it wouldn't be a big deal. These people would still be our friends. We had spent so much time with them. They were going to be there for us. That's what this was about, right? Wrong. When I started voicing my concerns and my doubts, it was met with, you can't leave. You're just thinking this wrong. No, you just have to keep going. No, that's not true, Katie. And I would point out things that I noticed about the financing, about the money, about the way that the group was run with the beliefs and the homeschooling and the Holy Spirit and the charisma and all of that wasn't really doctrine. It was like whatever he had designed it to be. It wasn't a faith at all. It was whatever he designed it to be. Had some sort of Bethel light. And it's crazy because we left 2 years ago in January. That was like the last time we went. So in 2018 was the last time we went. And I was like shell shocked because I never thought in my life I could get involved in something like that. And I never thought for my life that I would like expose my child to something like that, or that I would somehow end up in a belief system where I would want to pull my kids out of school and not be around people. And literally call people that weren't in our group worldly. Yeah, that's seriously what I used to say, worldly. And speak a language that like a lot of people didn't understand, and feeling like deceived because I realized I had been love bombed. I had been brought into a situation at my most vulnerable point and sort of suffocated by the affection and the attention, told that I was going to have all of these things. And then when I got in there and I realized and started questioning, I soon realized that nothing was as it seemed. And when we finally left, it was very quiet, but it was also very loud because the people around us noticed. And when I tried to speak out on social media, I was met with a lot of pushback. A lot of people blocked me. A lot of people told me I was lying when I made statements about the financials or about the leadership or about the doctrine or just about the overall community. It was like I was lying, and soon we had no friends at all. So we went from being surrounded by people every single day, 4 to 5 times a week, to having nothing, not a single person. And it was like losing everything. And it still kind of shocks me to say that out loud. 1, that I got involved in it. 2, that I invested time in it. But 3, that people that I thought I really connected to and were people that I thought were my friends were not, and were only as long as I was in the group. And I realized that if this could happen to me, it could happen to anyone. And if I could start to really change my belief system and believe things that I wouldn't normally believe, it could happen to anyone. But I also know that when people are in it, they can't see it. And so the stuff that's going on right now with Jacqueline and Morgan, I feel for Morgan because I'm sure there is some truth to what Jacqueline is saying, but I spent time speaking to Morgan, and she was speaking in a language that I really understood because it was the way that our church spoke to us. The spirit and the way that she talked about it moving within her, and her beliefs about medicine and, you know, a lot of different things were very similar to the church that I went to. And so it was easy for me to say, like, no, you're fine. Do I think she's fine? I really don't know, but I don't think it's probably as bad as Jacqueline is saying. I will say that I spoke to Morgan, and she's a nice person. And I don't think that this all falls on Paul. I think people get to a point with their beliefs on their own, and we can't ever blame one person. Couples walk in faith together. I know I was able to drag my husband into it, so people could have easily said that my husband did it to me, or I did it to him. You know what I mean? So I think this week was kind of a shell shock for me because I knew that that's what Paul and Morgan were from. I knew that that's where they came from. I knew that that's sort of what their belief was. And I think they feel familiar to me. And I wanted so badly to believe her. And I don't know what to say. I'll say that Morgan, behind the scenes, I spoke to her for an hour and a half, is a very nice person. I don't agree with her. I don't agree with a lot of the things that she's.
Guys, I'm going to put a hi, boss lady. Hi, my baby.
Hey, sugar love. Hey, Lady Divine. Hey, Kev.
Hey, boss lady.
So I'm gonna put my what we're gonna do. We're gonna do all of this together as a group. We're gonna do it together. Okay, so that's my job. I'm sorry. That's my job. That is my job. That's my job. But not for any trigger moments. Not for any trigger moments. That's not what this is about. Y'all experiences is teaching people. I'm going to put my email in here, right? So whatever I'm gonna be doing a lot. I already explained this to my tea biscuit, right? We're gonna be going into cults, but the subtle cults. Then we're gonna be going into extreme cults. But we're gonna be learning about because why? Because every last one of them are manipulative predators who feed vampires, predators slash vampires that feed off people. It doesn't matter what your background is. I try to keep telling you guys, it doesn't matter what your background is. Thank you, KR. We love you, so you know I love all of y'all. So it doesn't matter what your background is. We need to take that idea and throw it out the window. When they send a scout out and a scout talks to you, they talk to you on whatever level you are. So if you're from an abusive level, they talk to you on that level. If you're on an intelligent level, they talk to you on that level. If you're on a spiritual level, they talk to you on that level. If you're coming from abuse, they talk to you on that level. Please do not think that everybody in there is weak-minded. A lot of them ain't had no mind. A lot of them didn't have no mind. And you got to remember, you got a lot of middle-aged people that get caught out there. You have a lot of older people that got caught out there who you really think should know. But they know you old. So they come to you in that type of way. So do not think that they just targeting people that they just targeting people they just targeting weak-minded people. They target widows. They targeted people who wants to lose weight. You don't know what they heard from you that they're gonna target it, and then sometimes you think it cannot be you. You think, oh no, not me. Oh no, not me. Yeah, you too. Yeah, you too. All of us is capable of getting. Remember, it's another one. It's a beautiful video. I don't know which day I'm gonna show it because we're gonna be trying to learn something new every day. But it's also one-on-one cults. One-on-one cults is when you are dating a narcissist, sociopath, or whatever. So you're in a cult by yourself with somebody who treats you just like you're in a cult. And our job is to spread it to people that we can help. I'm not going to say the word spread the knowledge. I'm sick of that word knowledge. I didn't say the word spread the knowledge. I'm sick of hearing that word, the knowledge. This sounds like the building fund my granny passed have been collected since 1971 and ain't been built yet. Who you telling? Churches have been closed down and everything, and we still sending money to the building fund. But it really hit me when I heard stories of people who grandmothers and grandfathers or somebody that's in the church who have been paying tithes for a very long time. And once somebody passed away, they got shunned. I don't even know if this video was on YouTube, but it was one person that when a person passed away, the church sent them saying, hey, this person owes such and such. And it's a shame when you're in the church, you paid your dues. Some people been there 20 years, 50, it doesn't matter. They don't even have the time to give you a free burial that you done paid for with your tithes. And then they can't even pass the guy to get something. I'm like, when you know the people don't do nothing from their heart, nothing from their heart. They want money. It's crazy. And then they asked this man, what was that daggone pastor who was selling that damn water. People was buying it up. The little thing of water. It was buying it up. I'm like, what do you think that? First of all, where did you get? If you was able to get holy water, everybody will be there. Why would we need to go to you to get the holy water? What made this water holy? You didn't say you blessed it. You said it's holy water. Once you get a feeling that something is off, do not talk yourself out of your discomfort. Peter Puppet. Yes. And then some of them got a string. Y'all know I ain't lying. It's a string. It look like you put it in a damn book. A page saver. They selling your ass that. Now, what part of the Bible that God says, do not sell nothing in my name or profit? I'm going to have to come with some verses too. Some of my videos, I used to come with the verses. I'm going to have to come with some verses because, again, you're not reading the Bible. Yeah, we're going to hit a lot of them, but we don't want to wake the masses up. So we're going to do it the best way we could without waking up the masses. Not just life insurance, yes, exactly. Life insurance, pensions, bank accounts. You got a lot of our grandparents that died that transcend with nothing.
Says I don't agree with her points of view on many things, and I told her that repeatedly. But I also know that when you're in the middle of that and you're in the thick of it, and if you are, that's what your belief system is. No matter what I say and no matter what I do, I can't pull you out of that. You have to come to that realization yourself. But I had this very profound moment when I was sitting there with her, and I was thinking, if she's ever going to get out, the last thing that she needs are people on the outside screaming at her and telling her that her husband is a bad person and, going to her YouTube page and telling her to leave him and leave the doctrine. If I know anything about my own experience, I know it took me time and reflection and really to think through what was going on in my life. I didn't stay as long as some people, but it can really truly happen.
That's my email.
We were there for about 3 years, and my life was completely flipped upside down. I mean, some of my closest friends were anti-LGBTQ+, which is insane because look at my pillows. That is not negotiable with my family, But I also know that sometimes when people are so heavy in something, they just need a bit of kindness. And so I realized that earlier today I did a video where I shared my conversation with Morgan, and everyone thought, oh, you're subscribing to her, you're co-signing what she believes, you're taking her side. And I was like thinking, no, I'm not taking her side. I'm just being a human and offering a little bit of compassion and saying, if we want to help someone open their mind,
right? Yes, it's Gmail. So any information that you guys have or any information you want to cover, let me know in the email because, baby, I tell you, it's the truth. It's the truth. And we got to start talking about these things. And what you guys say, sometimes we may not catch it because you say, check this out or check that out. The next thing you know, the chat will be moving and we didn't get a chance. So whatever these little things are, let me know so we could check these things out right here and right there. We're going to check it out together. We're going to try to do things together because that Nature Boy learned this from other people. He ain't nobody's God. Ain't nobody's God. And you also got to learn that much as we want the Four Blind Mice and everybody else, we got to know that some of them might stay indoctrinated. And by them staying indoctrinated, that means now two things happen. They know what power is, and they know how to abuse power. Hey, Isabella, they know what power is. They know how to abuse power because it was being used against them. So we got the Trues and the Mooses. We may think that they left, but in all reality, they want that power and they know how to do it. So don't be so happy that they left. A lot of them start their own. So now a lot of them is going to want Nature Boy status. Even though Nature Boy may be gone, but they like, damn, I want people bending for me. I want people bowing for me. I want people to be calling me God. You know, they not just did they learn his crappy yappy work, they learned what power is about. They learned what power, and why would they want to go and have regular lives? They was kneeling to a man for 4 years. Now they want people to kneel to them. That gotta be. Don't be so happy. Oh my goodness, they out. Let's send them some. That's part of the game right there. That's the first step of they're still in the game right there. When they ask you to send them money. Because not the fact that you're sending them money, they know they have supporters. People still watching me. They sending me money without Nature Boy? Without Nature Boy? So they're going to keep proclaiming him for a while. But that sense of freedom doesn't mean they're going to get deprogrammed and help people and live regular lives. They're going to just do it their way. And they're going to call it a new church. How many churches do we have? The same way it is. How many cults do we have? So they're going to name it a new cult. And they're going to put it in. Oh, I don't do stuff like him. This is the way. That's why True said something about whatever he said. He has another way of putting it. So now people are going to want to find out, well, what's your way you put it? I don't know if anybody's going to follow True ass, but I'm talking about Solar. And then the Four Blind Mice, they're going to be good to be used in other cults because they don't have to train them. 3,000. Yeah, you're right about that. It might be a little bit more. I was doing a little research on that. Remember, we got cults in your job. Regardless of what a boss do, a person cannot leave their boss. They cannot leave the job. Everything is about the job. Yeah, no charisma at all. That's why I said, I don't think nobody following True. But Solar and Musa, they can make their own cult. Now, the difference is they may not have it televised. Nature Boy chose to have his televised. So not televised, but social mediaized. They may do it without us knowing and do it because they're gathering new people now because they know people still sending me money. So Solar Assassin's already professional. Yeah, they're already trained and print and prime. So they don't even have to train them. So we up there hoping and praying and sending them money to get out. No. 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 And then a lot of them, just like the ex-members of a lot of these reality shows and stuff, a lot of ex-members is still using the quote-unquote wannabe fame from them being in a cult just for them to have a following. It's the same following because of people who are so glad they're out. That's crazy. That is crazy. How do you keep sending people money? So, no, they got out and did nothing with getting out. They did nothing. That's still a cult-like following. That's a cult-like following. And how you know? Because the minute you say something about them, here comes the cult. Here comes the cult. You can't say nothing about them. That means that person is still using cult-like behaviors. Because they never told their people, you know what? I was in a cult. I've done things good and I've done things bad. Don't be going after nobody. You understand? So they don't stop it. Be careful of these ex-cult members. Nature Boy was going live one day and we saw a video he was watching. The title pertained to how to make people do as you say. He was already doing, he studied a lot of that. But our job is to undo that. Our job is to undo that. Studied a lot of that. But our job is to undo that. Our job is to undo. Scouts, they can sense your weakness, every trauma, insecurity, or just your happiness. Just your happiness. Just your happiness. And sometimes for all my marijuana smokers, we older. The older ones now smoke on their own. But back in the days when people smoked marijuana or oh God. Yes, it has been open with tactics of Charles and other. He did not hide the fact, and it's crazy how cocky he was about it. I think the Coco girl shined a lot of that light on him. He says she was sending him money all, and I think she says, I don't even know who Coco is. The Coco girl? It's two Coco girls now. I don't know which one. I don't know which one it is. But we're gonna go on a life journey. We're gonna go on a life journey. We're gonna go on a life journey. And we're gonna, and like I said, tell you guys, I told you the first time Nature Nut hit YouTube. I don't want to say he's been out before. I don't want to hear he did videos before. I don't want to hear he was on Facebook. I'm talking about YouTube. The first time he hit YouTube was 6 years ago. The first time Young Pharaoh hit YouTube was 6 years ago. The first time Kevin Samuels hit YouTube was 6 years ago. Maybe on my other page. We might not can't look at the videos, but we're gonna stroll and we're gonna go through this together. Because everybody always copping for somebody. They always copping for somebody. Getting tattoos and crying and not knowing you've been played. You've been played. You've been played. What dancer? That could help me out. Some girl that lives in Cali. Oh, yeah, that's her. I know you're speaking of. Yes, Kiki Morales' friend. Oh, I don't know what y'all talking about, but thank y'all for keeping it from me. But I'm definitely going to put my other page in the chat. Because y'all need to subscribe to that. Y'all need to subscribe to that. Well, we can have all types of conversations. Look at this. Cheaper than McDonald's. And it's a real meal. They was trying to set me up. $50. Move, Carter. Dang. Move, dog. Well, I'm coming. I'm getting out my my other chat. That dude was just a guest. But please come to my new channel. I don't care how small the group is, but we're going to do stuff together. We're going to learn together. We're going to check out each other's sources together and see what adds. See, that's the point. People sticking to their source. They don't want to put the sources together and see what adds up and what don't. We don't want to do that. Nope, I'm not in the system yet. Okay, let me see if I can find it here. I'll give it to y'all later, damn it. Yeah, I'll get it later. All right, I'll give it to you later because we don't really have the time to find it right now. Sugar, she was a girl that she said she wanted to go and interview Nature Boy and was getting things set up through Solar. She said she knew of the trans, just a bunch of mess. Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you guys. But we're gonna try, and that's another cult. That is another, it's so many avenues of getting caught into cults. It's crazy. It's crazy. Have y'all seen the videos and the Instagrams of what they've been doing with the Black Lives, the BLM money? Have y'all seen that? From all the t-shirts that people bought, all the rallies, all of this, and look where the money went. Look where the money went with the BLM. We're going to talk about that too. We are going to talk about that too. Maybe not tonight, maybe not tomorrow. But like I said, we're going to cover some of everything. We're going to cover some of everything that has been Go ahead, Lady Divine, say that part. My tea biscuit. The tea biscuit got me on mute again. But anything that has caused our people dysfunction, these are the things that has our people dysfunction. We have to go back and find out, how do we get out of this dysfunction? We don't want to be the parents that say, well, what happened to our kids? They're not the same no more. And now they're doing this and they're doing that. We didn't warn them about these cults. Oh, they're with these new group of people and now they don't want to call. Our kids are now estranged from us. And I can guarantee you, you want to think, oh, because they got new friends, they are estranged from us. Not knowing your kid is in a cult. I was down with that at first until I sat back and thought about it. Yeah, this is what we're supposed to be doing, Coffee. And I love your picture, Coffee, Wine, and Water. I love your picture. Futuristic King Beats. How are you? She got, we're going to be talking about all these people. And like I said, if anybody have something containing what we're doing here, and you want to send me some emails that can enlighten some people, do not keep the info to yourself. Do not, just like I share with you guys can share stuff too. Send it in an email. And if you want to come on the panel and you want to talk about it, that's fine too. Because we are effed up as a people. We are effed up as a people. And we need to find out all of this that happened. I don't care if we got to take it back to that shit or not the shit. Well, we're going to really try to break away with some of this bad behavior and what made us do things and what did we not look at, what should we look at. These conversations we should be having with our kids, our nieces, our nephews, our godchildren. These things, I hate the shirts, masks, everything. Yeah, I had to. That's what I'm saying. Selling all these shirts and stuff. I'm trying to get my two co-hosts to say something before I leave and come back. But they see how my co-hosts do me.
I just want to. I'll say something.
And my baby cheeks.
No, what you're saying is so true. It's just like things will suddenly come into your life, and just like you don't know that man or that woman is bad until you involved with them. And, you just don't know a friend is bad until you been friends with them and they show their real face. They always got that mask up, and when the mask drop, it's most of the time too late. You're all the way involved. And you really got to start, like she said, we got to start talking to them about it. Talk to them about how anybody's grouping your friend, your kids up in a group, and ask about the groups that they're involved in and the people that they hang around, and any if they do go to church, ask them about it, talk to them about it, see what they're involved in with the church and everything like that. That's all. I just wanted to say that.
That was well said, Queen. Well said. Well said. And my little tea biscuit, I'm gonna make her drink some coffee soon. But either way, guys, I will be back about. You want me to drop the link? I was going to cut off, and she said, Boss Lady, don't just happen every time.
Every time.
They come Miss Ride. I'm glad she's feeling better. Everybody, let's tell Miss Ride that, she was not feeling well, but she was still trying to hang in here with us, but she wasn't feeling well. And, let's send her some love because she's starting to feel better. And you know I don't like when none of y'all sick. Come on up, Miss Rod. I dropped the link, baby.
Hey, LaTanya. How you doing, boo?
I was trying to see what's up with that LaTanya who used to cover Nature Boy.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what's going on with her, you know, because she's been put down. A lot of things done happened to her, but I want to know, you know, is she okay, and how she feel about this. Hey, Miss Rod.
Peace and love, fam.
Hey, sis.
I've been watching a video, the one that you just did. I've been watching it. I've been on it, listening to y'all. And I happen to be researching another quote like scenario. And this scenario is like, it's been on the news, Dr. Phil or whatever. These men that are doctors, hi everybody on the panel. These men that are doctors, they are GYN doctors that also help people have babies. And they've been supplying, instead of supplying the people's sperm, the husband's sperm, they've been supplying their own sperm. And so far, the count is up to 98 siblings off of one man.
Doctor, yeah.
And he up there crying, I don't want this out. I'm married and I got 3 children. It's like these cults, it's like so many different kinds of these cults. And he happens to be a pastor at a church. He's practically father to this whole community. I was just sitting there with my mouth open. I could not believe it.
She said, Miss Coffee Wine said, child, my daughter and I watched that the other night.
Yes. Oh, you probably watched the one called Our Father. That's probably the one she watched. I went back and found the article and when Dr. Phil had it on there. I was like, these people are doing new level stuff. That's all I wanted to say to you guys. You know, it's so many different kinds of cults that are popping up that's been here. They've been here. You know, this is probably the 3rd or 4th black one or, of color that I've seen so far. You know, that's what I wanted to say to you guys. Just
I watched that.
It's a lot going on.
People think they having a baby with their husband, and
it's a lot going on.
From the pastor.
Yes, and
they having a baby with their husband, and
it's a lot going on.
From the pastor.
Yeah, it's an old story.
And they having a baby with their husband.
Oh wait, pause there. It's still making noise. Yeah,
I'm the one muted. God damn, I muted myself. Probably mute one of y'all. Go ahead, guys.
But it's not an old story. That story that I'm talking about is somewhat old, but a lot of different cults are doing these things. You know, they, just like with the Charles Manson, so he went crazy, and the Jim Jones, they practically redid the blueprint, and now the blueprint is keep going up and up and getting better and better and better. It is sick. Because now these 98 kids who found out they was related through the DNA database, I'm like, what is going on here?
Wow.
Until finally, the father, the doctor, he got a subpoena to do the DNA, and he did it, and he's the pappy. Because first they thought it may be 3 of them. Then it was no more than 10. The numbers kept rolling up. Now, could you imagine how many sick children there are in the world? Because just like I'm just throwing it out there, the Amish people, a lot of them are related. A lot of the incest and craziness is going on. But
that's a sick group right there.
Oh,
because
we're gonna break all these. Now, I tell you, we're not playing no more. And I'm glad that even Ms. Ride brought that up. But I tell you, we have to start sharing information. We have to share information. We got to speak out. Like I said, if you in the chat, if y'all say check this out, check that out, and email it to me so I can look it up, because sometimes the chat move, I can't write it down that fast. So the minute you say check this out, please send it in an email. It's so much stuff that's going on, and we ain't gonna say we trying to heal our people. And you got a lot of our people that's indulging in Hindi stuff, has nothing to do with us. You have a lot of our stuff in some of these African cultures which ain't no kin or no blood to us. They indulging in all these, especially these mystical things and these myths, and they're taking on the energy of things that don't even exist. It don't exist.
I must tell you that I have befriended this lady that's on Instagram, and she's white, and her husband is black, and they're working on a 10th child. They're very religious. Their family is just beautiful. They girls and they sons. I think the oldest one is 12, so she's been having a baby like every year almost. And you know, I'm like, how does he take care of 10 children? You know, he said, we're going to keep having children. This is our tribe. This is our tribe. And we're going to raise our tribe to make their own tribe. You know? And I was like, well, at least she's making money doing the YouTube and the TikTok and everything with all the kids involved. And I think he's a construction worker slash priest. I think he's an engineer and he's a priest, a pastor or something, because, you know, very, very, very rarely curse, you know, but they human, you know, when they doing outdoors, and the kids always dressed alike, and, you know, but it's how close knit their family is. Now they raising 10 more people to become adults. And they only got 3 sons. They got 3 sons. I hope the next one's a boy. I'm hoping, because they got a lot of daughters.
Have mercy. I bought the.
And I mean, he's African black, okay? And she looked like she's an Amish
I was
wife.
getting ready to bring that. I done bought the wrong food. You know, I don't eat nothing spicy. God, I'm sweating here. They don't trick
I'm sweating.
me. But that's what I
Man.
was getting ready to say. That's what brought us into watching the D family in Arkansas. And we see things like that exactly, because you made her say the Duggars, but I didn't want to say their name. But now we see these things and we say,
They ain't corrupted like them.
We don't know.
They ain't corrupted like them.
We don't know.
We
didn't know they was corrupted until years later, baby.
He said when he married her, he said, are you willing to have as many children as your body can take? And she said, yeah. And they've been married. He hasn't cheated.
I don't believe nobody no more, girl. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, I went back to their old videos like you're doing with the guys that you
you're
do
not
right
in
now.
the house. You're not in the house with them.
Well,
these days, from what
I
we're
don't know,
seeing,
but
from what we're seeing, I mean, I can only hope they're righteous, but as of these days, I don't know. I don't know. Behind closed doors, we don't know what. Everybody appear. Oh, we having these kids, a beautiful community. Maybe the next thing you know,
she clearly said she's the only one. She the only wife he got in the community.
Okay. Well,
okay.
Then she want to be part of the coach.
I gotta go, guys.
You better bring your butt back later. Before, oh yeah, I won't call it, yeah, but it's the law. Oh yeah, girl, I know what you're talking about. That's why we gotta learn how to speak in code. My mouth is burning. They done gave me I don't eat nothing spicy. They done set me up. I'm not throwing away this food, and I got a cat and dog, which I'm ready to burn their mouth. I'm gonna give it to them. It's a couple of them. It's a lot of them. It's a lot of them. But I got an idea exactly. Is it Houston? Is it Houston? I meant to ask me. I think so. I think so. A lot of stuff going on in Texas. People stay away from Texas. Stay away from Texas. But guy, we'll be back. Go take a break. We'll be back about 7:38. We're gonna get into an interview with Nature Nut, and then we're gonna watch something, and then we're gonna try to see what is he talking about. So you guys, let's give it an hour, a half an hour to an hour, and then we're gonna get into the Nature Nut. Oh yeah. So
Bro, why is these YouTube streets trying to make it seem like somebody did something to Kitten Hills?
Sometimes I'm not getting into that. That's for my other channel. That's why I told people to click on to the other channel. So just forbid, just so we can be able to talk, and if the page gets shut down, is okay, because there won't be that many people on there. But I'm not going to jeopardize this page over and over and over again, because my luck might just run out. You know how many times I stay in trouble, boy. I stay in trouble. Man, imagine this built with some of these co-member parents in the chat. Cause we are what you're doing, really making a change. And it's a group participation. And just this watching y'all in the chat, I'm learning a lot from you guys. And I thank you. KR, today is your day. Whoop, 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 whoop. For setting it off, saying that, you've been through some things. Well, hopefully one day, I told her to watch how she say her words. I was trying to find Sugar Babes, but it's so new, you're not going to find it. And I was going to ask Miss Rod, because she could find anything. I was going to ask Miss Rod to drop the link. Let me see. And whenever y'all guys are ready. What? I don't want you eating that. No, I don't want you eating these things, boy. I want you to eat other stuff. Not that, not this. You ain't feeling all that. Uh-oh. Kissing me want to talk about the Shemites versus the Hamites. Well, the Hamites are what they call today the African people. It's called that's what you call Africa. It was called Ham. The Shemites would be more of the Israelites. We're gonna break that down, but I'm trying to get to the one little video that I have on here. The one little video I got on here. Oh God. One little video that I do got on here. Okay. I see a lot of you guys popped on over here. But like I said, some of the comments, some of us, we're going to be on Sugar Love's channel, and some we got to take over there. I got to start. Oh, yeah, guys. I don't know if I did it right, but I've been approved for membership. We also have membership. Because certain things we're not going to be able to talk about on YouTube. Now, I don't know if the membership means that it won't be shown. I know Patreon it won't be shown. I really don't want to do a Patreon, but that's how far we're going to see. So whoever has a membership, do y'all see where it's a membership on this page? Where y'all can join the membership. I don't even know how to do that. You see that?
This is your sign to get the...
Hello and welcome, my T Stearers. I am so glad for you to be here.
Oh, Lord, I'm playing. I ain't want to play it.
I am on the road.
All right, y'all got it?
That was me.
No, that was me.
That was me.
Well, maybe it was the both of us, because I know as soon as I pressed mute, it stopped. I believe that was me.
Finding the page.
I guess that was the both of us. We did it at the same time, boss lady.
Imagine that.
We don't know who to blame. We did it at the same time. As soon as I heard that, I pressed mute and it stopped. All right, guys.
I'm gonna put it on my Twitter page.
And then we're going to get into nature nuts. Oh, you on the beach. Gee, you and boss lady, I just love telling us about y'all beautiful weather and all that other stuff.
Yeah, it's 90 degrees.
Oh, goodbye. Goodbye. But we got an okay day. If we have an okay day today, which for us is beautiful. We don't need all that 90 degrees. We just want to sit outside with no coat on and no jacket on. That's all we want. All right, guys. I'm going to end this. And I'm going to eat this hot-ass daggone food that's burning my mouth. And then we're going to start on tonight's thing. I meant to come on a little bit earlier so I can do these type of videos earlier. Well, who knows whatever we're going to do. I don't make plans no more. The heck with it. All right, guys. Peace out.